Hello there, everyone. Welcome to Chill Good Vibes Arcade today. I am here. I am Daniel. I'm joined by, this way, Brandon.
It's me. Hello.
On off the cuff of a very strange direct.
Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo directly into my veins with all the. Well, I hope you enjoyed the Mario Direct, everybody.
As Mario fan numero uno, that Direct was made for me.
It truly was. It was made for some specific fans, and Brandon was living through it. There were unfortunately some technical issues that happened during that direct, which led to we had a lot of ideas for cutting out certain reactions, and as you saw on the channel, RIP subscription feeds, you guys got a bunch of videos yesterday, but I was absent from said reactions because I guess during that the crispy audio we were having, we missed out, or I missed out that we were recording all our own audio, so I didn't record mine. But funny enough, it doesn't really matter because there was no consistency lost between all those clips.
We found a way to make it work. But because we're streaming this today, now you can actually get Daniel's opinions on the things that happened yesterday.
Yeah, let's see here. Let me just check that audio's okay. Looked like it was blasting a little bit on lowering it. Oh, Obis. Oh, Obis. Oh, Discord. What a time. But yeah, hello everyone in chat, by the way. I don't want to ignore y'all. Hello to Ian, Corin, Sumo, Vedron, Mellowfire, and Shellshock. How y'all doing? Oh boy.
And Lewis Dragoon. Hello.
Welcome. Yeah, that was a time. I know at the end a fair amount of us seemed down about it. It was a weird whiplash moment of like being like, oh my god, Mario Wonder, so awesome, to like, it was alright.
I was so confused because, just personally speaking, like I didn't think the way that Direct played out was entirely too different than the last few we've had in a row. They typically have 2 or 3 big first-party announcements sprinkled in with some third parties that I may or may not care about, a couple indie games. And that's kind of exactly what they did. So I was a little surprised. I'm like, I don't know what y'all were expecting, but this is kind of what I showed up for.
I was like, yeah, I think my own initial reaction after the direct was a bit muted because not only was I trying to grab everything to set up these new thumbnails for our little clipped out reactions, I was just, I was thrown off kilter by the lukewarm feedback of what I thought was a great direct. Honestly.
I got the Mario game I've been wanting for like 20 plus years.
Really? Yeah, really,
and, like,
though.
I know that 2D Mario isn't the most exciting thing for a lot of people. But this is a 2D Mario that's worth being excited about, and I think I was a little surprised at, like you said, kind of that lukewarm reception to it. I think the other guys got a chance to kind of stew on it. I haven't listened to their discussion yet, but I think they've come around on it some. There's also like smaller games. Like I get if you don't like WarioWare, if that doesn't interest you. I know Arlo doesn't really care, but like WarioWare Smooth Moves 2 or Move It is like a huge deal to me because I love that game.
I love Smooth Move. I remember playing that with just a lot of different people within my family, with friends. It's an amazing party game because you can, just the fact that you're actually, moving, you can play your own way, you can pass the controller on, or you can do a big multiplayer session together. And just the creativity they had with the Wii Remote. And this is what I wanted to have happen. The Joy-Con are perfect for this sort of thing. And to see that happen, realized in a proper WarioWare game, is exciting.
I really liked Get It Together myself. I played through that whole game co-op with Joe, and we had a good time doing that. But it wasn't a traditional WarioWare game. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of cool, and I think I said this on stream before, that in a similar case to Mario Party, we have two very different flavors of WarioWare on the same platform. Nintendo gave that advice to Ubisoft when it came to Mario and Rabbids. They're like, we believe in one iteration per platform, unless like it's going to be different.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something WarioWare is succeeding at here.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I remember we mentioned that too. Like, there's the core style of that gameplay, which was Mario Party Superstars, WarioWare Move It, or the one that's a bit adjacent to that, but still within that same vein, which is Get It Together or Super Mario. 100 bits twice from Mito Green saying, Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince gets all of my hype, and Shell Shock with just 100 bits. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, Dragon Quest Monsters, that looks cool too. I didn't expect we would see that at this direct.
In their own presentation, in their own Dragon Quest video, they just revealed it with some text on screen. I really thought that game was like multiple years away, but no, apparently not.
Guess not. No. Let me see here. I know there's some people saying, yeah, Ian is saying, is Get It Together worth getting? It's kind of like a light WarioWare experience because it definitely plays different. You're controlling different characters with different abilities in this space, so there's a lot of replayability out of it that way. But as far as like your traditional, like, you know, reaction based yeah, I guess react and your movement based
Yeah.
micro mini games, it is a bit different. If you like WarioWare, I would say it's still worth getting and checking that one out. It's just a nice little.
It is a good game. I think it's better played with second person because the game's kind of designed around two player.
Yeah, that's.
So if you have a second person to play with, I would say get it. If you don't, then maybe try and get it on sale if you still are interested.
Yeah, that's probably the better. There's a redemption for you, Brandon.
Profess your love for the Red Plumber, sir. He deserves it after yesterday.
Yeah, you know, I think what you mentioned earlier about people being tired of Mario Brothers, or the 2D Mario rather, that partly is because the new formula has just gotten so stale and predictable. People were like, I don't want another one of these again, especially when we got Mario Brothers U Deluxe, which changed pretty much nothing.
It's the game that you got the first time.
Pretty much. See, that's the thing. I don't want to bash on new Super Mario Brothers because it did do a lot in that moment of like when it released on the DS. It added like wall jumping, ground pounding, different traversal, modernized ways to play. But it's the fact that it's hardly changed throughout all these years and all these releases. Like the biggest things it contributed was multiplayer in the 2D space and like just different power-ups with each iteration, and I can't really name much else that's different between all titles.
I think the only games you needed were New Super on DS and then Wii, and then after that it was probably time to move on.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that New Super Mario Brothers Wii sold like what 100 million plus copies. But releasing New Super Mario Brothers 2 and New Super Mario Brothers U, like, just months apart was not smart.
Yeah, that was a bit much, and it's just fatigue with that series. And then it's cool to see that the developers had this challenge of iterating or seeing all the creativity in games like Mario Maker and saying, we gotta make something that they can't make in that game. We gotta make something completely original and different that is gonna stand apart. And we see a lot of that. The art style, just Mario emotes. He makes expressions with his face, and that's a big deal.
He's allowed to have a personality again, thank God. He's always been this happy-go-lucky guy, but you don't get to see that in the way he emotes.
Mm-hmm.
But now we do. He's got Sonic face, the little hand-drawn mouth.
The little mouth on the side where he's like going on that little corner smile. The way his feet like flutter around when he's running. A lot of it looks like they took the inspiration from the 2D art, even from like older games when the way he moves, the way he runs. I remember there's an art of Mario with his cape running in the same way with his feet fluttering that way.
That Kotabe style art.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I've wanted them to just make a straight up 2D animated Mario game that just used the Kotabe art. And they kind of did that. They just translated that art to 3D, and it looks really good.
That's really cool. Yeah, just just how zany it gets, because I mean, there's obviously parts of the trailer that gets really weird and zany and wacky, like Mario stretches in those silhouettes.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a Mario Odyssey moment where he turns into like a spiked ball and is running around. There's like bowling pin sounds while he's crushing back and forth. And it's just, it's so expressive now. Everyone's expressive. All the characters. There's daisies in this game. That's amazing.
I saw someone on Twitter mention that the playable cast are the power-up bands that you can get at Super Nintendo World. So Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Toad, and Yoshi. And they did say at some point that Super Nintendo World would have Nintendo Switch connectivity. And I wonder if Super Mario Bros. Wonder might be the launch pad for that. Which would be cool.
It might be.
Chat saying amiibos. That's a good idea, because those power-up bands are amiibo, aren't they?
Yeah, they all function as amiibo with the NFC chip. Elephant Mario amiibo.
Oh my god, the absolute unit.
Wow,
I wonder,
zowie.
I wonder too. Like, the apple is red. We only see Mario become an elephant. Does each character get their own animal?
I wonder. Because
I'm not entirely convinced all the characters play the same like they do in New Super Mario Brothers. Because at one point we see multiple Yoshis on screen at once. And we pretty sure Buckenberry is in the game, so at the very least we have 2 types of Toad. Makes me wonder if 4 players could choose to play as Mario, Luigi, etc. Like, does that allow them to have different styles of movement? Because that would be cool. I want slippery, high jumping Luigi and floating Peach and Daisy and all that. Like, I want to see what that's like.
Yeah, same here. I don't know. It's probably a nothing detail as far as what I thought at first, but there's also the fact that on that box art you see the Goomba with a blue Toad hat on for some weird reason.
Yeah, like, we don't see Blue Toad himself, but the remains of his head.
The remains of what is definitely his hats. I want to believe that they're all going to be a different kind of animal of some sort. Kind of weird. They all become elephants.
I've never associated Mario with elephant in my life, so like, I have no idea who the other characters would turn into. What's Yoshi gonna turn into? He's already an animal.
He's an animal already. He becomes a human?
Oh no, bird.
No. Oh
god, that would actually be kind of incredible.
Yeah.
One thing about Yoshi I wanted to bring up is that his in-game model is his Super Mario World design, his original design, with the kind of sleepy, drugged out eyes, the spikier spines on his back, and the way he stands is a little more curved, and I think that's cool.
Love that look. Yeah, they're definitely dipping back more into older Mario titles. Even just, the aesthetic of it too feels like it's something out of Mario Brothers 2 or Super Mario Land, just because of how weird it is, and just that Daisy's there too also just brings up like other like Mario Land type. Well, is this actually a dream, or what could this be? I wonder.
I brought this up during stream, but when they showed the logo the first time, Mario's standing in front of a Goomba who's asleep. I'm like, this could be some subcon shenanigans. They're in the what is it, the Flower Kingdom? So they could also maybe be changing Sarasa Land to Flower Kingdom. This could be where Daisy's from.
I'm
Maybe.
running out of clever things to say with
Yeah.
my
Like I
monthly
don't, I, don't- I
streams,
wouldn't mind if
so
they
I'm just
retcon
gonna
some
say
stuff like
hello.
that, because, you know, Flower Kingdom, Sarasa Land, it's all the same thing. It doesn't matter.
Back. Gosh, what was the villain in that game?
To
Tatanga.
Tatanga?
Tatanga.
Yeah, Tatanga.
Tatanga. Bring back the.
I
Bring back the
I was
words.
thinking Topanga from Boy Meets World. And I was like, that's not right.
That's a different. That's a different thing. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Jaden Buck, as well, for the 16 months on a 13-month streak. Running out of clever things to say with my monthly streak, so I'm just gonna say hello. Well, hello.
Hello.
And thank you. Welcome to the 16th month club. No, you're still almost to rainbow badge. I keep forgetting how many months. But yeah, there's a lot they could do with this. I want to see. I feel like we barely seen anything yet, despite how much gameplay they showed us.
It even seems like the game structure is going to be new. Like, not new, but you know what I mean. Like we have full on level titles and screenshots when you show up to a level. It tells you how difficult it is. And it seems every level might have a different amount of wonder seeds, which I guess is the new star coin equivalent. And I think that's interesting. It might help take away some of that kind of samey feel that New Super Mario Brothers had, where each level is actually a little more unique than the previous one.
Kind of structured around like Mario World from what I saw. Oh, like maybe it all kind of connects in a certain way, and it's not just super linear. Going to
the camera also like followed the characters and rotated. We're not just looking at a straight on look at the map like we have for the last 1 million Mario games in a row.
Yeah.
It really does seem a lot more interesting, and the scope seems bigger than other Super Mario Brothers games in the past.
They're playing with so many different mechanics. You see just in that trailer, like Mario is grabbing a handrail and gliding and or kind of grinding on the bottom of it. There's like combos, like cool, nice, awesome, wonderful, that sort of thing. When you hit enemies, like there's a lot of little new changes with this one.
They've also taken the sliding thing reminds me. They've taken a lot of inspiration from Super Mario Run. When Mario jumps off an enemy, he doesn't just. Sometimes he'll flip or he'll stretch his arms out.
Bounce,
like
yeah.
He looks like he's having fun.
I just want Mario to have a good time again. Yeah, that's, oh my gosh, there's so many things I'm trying to recall. You can go in the foreground and background, like it's a Donkey Kong Country Returns deal in there as well. I saw for a moment.
The silhouette thing also reminded me of Donkey Kong Country Returns. It makes me wonder, did they borrow some notes, copy some homework? Mario and the gang also seems they have like a new glide mechanic with their hats.
Oh yeah.
Peach doesn't like bring out a parasol or something. She brings out a Mario hat
Just a
that's
pink
Peach
hat.
style. Yeah. What's gonna happen to Toad? What?
Oh no!
Does Toad's head come off?
Is that why the hat is removed? Are we gonna see a bald Toad in this game? I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Oh my god. The single hair on the top of their heads.
Oh my.
The music is also very new. Like, it doesn't feel like copy pasted from the last game. There's not even like the ba ba thing happening. There's like boos and bahs happening in the background, but it's like it's very melodic and fun.
Yeah, they're kind of just jamming out now. It's like a smooth kind of. But yeah, the music changing. Pretty major. Music is when they change the music, when they change the audio and the voice samples, that's when you know that they're actually doing a new Mario game for sure. I feel like I haven't heard any new Mario samples since Odyssey at this point.
I saw someone saying that there was a new audio for Mario in Strikers, but I can't remember.
I don't know. I mean, we unfortunately didn't play that very much.
If they hadn't botched the experience on that one, we probably would have played it more. But yeah, we know very little about Super Mario Wonder at this point. It comes out in October, but they clearly have more to tell us. So I am sure sometime maybe in September or even August we'll get like a new trailer and some more information. Kind of hoping there's even more playable characters than the ones we have. Like it's a pipe dream, but if we got Wario, maybe Waluigi, and Rosalina to round it out, I think that'd be perfect. As much as I like Pauline, I don't think she's ripe for a platformer environment.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I feel like I would have said that about Rosalina until I started to see her jump around in Mario 3D World.
That's a good point.
But I mean, they can do whatever they want. I'd be happy to see them. I feel like we'll at least have Rosalina at some point. Kind of.
It'd be weird to leave her out after all this, you know.
Bring all three of the girls together finally in one platforming game and let them let loose.
Daisy got to be in a main line after her original appearance. Let Waluigi have his day. Just let him in.
Is this his time?
He's been Squidward in his house looking at the window at SpongeBob and Patrick playing for the last 25 years.
we can finally have a Wario Brothers game, or well, Wario and Waluigi game if you want to. If depends what you think about that lore.
If the game happens to have online, we can have one play session. We can have one stream series where we're Mario and Luigi, and then we have a second one where we're Wario and Waluigi.
No, that means I have to be Waluigi. Oh no.
I would be Waluigi if you prefer Wario.
No, it's okay. We have to stay with our adjacent characters. That'll be fine. I'll deal with it. Considering when we eventually get to it, you'll probably have to be the Kiddy Kong one day. This is probably a trade-off for that.
We have already privately decided that I will sacrifice myself to the Kiddy Kong.
We're just saying consistent because I was Donkey Kong in the first one, Brandon was Diddy Kong in 1 and 2, and then I was Dixie Kong because there was no DK. But now I'll be Dixie Kong in 3, and Brandon will make the sacrifice. I didn't plan this in beforehand. Just realized it as we went along.
It's just how it goes, man.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of stuff happening with the Mario series. Peach is getting her own game. We don't know anything about it. It's just like a stage play, and she has like a companion. She doesn't have her crown. Is this like a prequel before she became princess, I wonder? Or does she just not have a crown?
My suspicion is that she is quite literally putting on a performance, and the performance is telling the story of how she became a princess. But canonically speaking, she's already princess. She's just putting on a play.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's everyone's just watching this play. Let's see. Yeah.
It also seems to me, and I think John agreed, that pretty clearly it looks like a next level game. Games release.
The way they animate, the way it kind of just looks in general.
Yeah.
Gives off that vibe, yeah.
The lighting and design reminds me a lot of Luigi's Mansion 3. So I'm pretty confident this is next level games, but it's hard to say because they didn't tell us really anything. They're like, Princess Peach, when she stands on this platform...
What?
We'll tell you later.
What was it? They only did that so that they can do the trifecta of here's a Mario game, here's a Peach game, here's a Luigi game. They're all coming to the Switch.
I think some people are also forgetting like this is kind of their E3 position direct. And in past years, ever since the Switch's first E3, they have revealed at least 1 or 2 2024 games that we barely got any info on.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Yoshi's Crafted World was first announced, it was just Yoshi. When Kirby Star Allies was first announced, it was just Kirby. I'm pretty sure they didn't even have a name yet. So they're just continuing that trend. It is a little weird, but you know, they've done it before.
Now it's Untitled Peach game. That's just what it's called right now.
Steve said he thinks the Peach game is going to be cross-gen. I could see that happening, but I'm pretty sure Peach is going to be like March. I don't think it's as far away as people think. That's definitely a spring title.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I kind of figured that'd be the area for Luigi's Mansion. Be like the early 2023 or 2024. But I can see Peach in there too.
Yeah.
Once we learn more about it, what it is.
I mean, they got 12 months of the year to fill with first-party games. I think they usually fill out at least 9 or 10 of those. The first half of the year is usually pretty light, and that's the kind of position to put in games like this. Like, as much as I love Princess Peach, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I doubt Princess Peach's game is going to make waves right away since she has only ever had one before. Hopefully this is the start of changing that, but this is not a game you release in November.
Yeah, that's why they're saving bigger boys for that one. The game they are saving for November is one that I got probably the most excitement out of, like very close to Wonder. The remake of Mario RPG. Oh my god.
Bless.
Oh my god. That's the one that I wish my reaction was saved for, because I was in. We're not gonna get a Paper Mario, the traditional kind. I mean, I still would prefer a Paper Mario 1 or 2 remake, but this is also a fantastic way to get a Mario RPG, a proper Mario RPG on the console, because it's Mario RPG, Super Mario RPG. We weren't sure if it was ever going to happen because of Square Enix's, deal with, or their ownership of certain characters, the world itself. But now it's going to happen, and it looks perfect.
I don't think they could have made this remake any better than the way they did. Like, the way they've translated that original 2D pre-rendered sprite look from the Super Nintendo game. Yeah, Mario's all squatty and stumpy. He's perfect. At the end of the trailer, like, one of the stars is coming down, and he goes uppies.
It's just, and you're like, yes, I will give Mario the uppies. Oh my god, yeah, Mario and Peach specifically they look adorable. They're just all squish and squash. But
Bowser probably looks the most different, because, like, in the original game, like, if you've ever, for those in chat who haven't seen it, look up a sprite of Bowser from Super Mario RPG. He looks weird. I'm just gonna be honest.
He looks a little chunky in the face. It looks kind of odd, honestly.
They hadn't figured him out yet.
Yeah, this was that weird era of what does Bowser actually look like, because they had him pretty much figured out around when Mario 64 came out, but the polygonal model was still working. They were still working on that one, but the actual 3D rendered was at that point. But before that, in Super Nintendo era, NES era, he kept changing. He had a lot to figure out during that.
His look in Super Mario Kart is probably the closest to what it became. But
yeah.
like, if you look at his Super Mario World sprite, like, it's just completely different.
Oh my god.
I hope he still has that crying emote that he'll do.
Oh yeah.
Where the tears bounce up and down.
I think so. From what we've seen, it's very faithful to what it was originally. Even from the perspective, there was that scene of Mario like spinning around doing the imitations of reenacting what happened with Bowser, where he turns into Bowser. I think they're gonna kill it with keeping it very faithful to the original, and at least I hope so.
And even though, like, it's faithful from a presentation standpoint, it looks like gameplay is gonna have some new features in combat. Like, there's chains now. We don't even really know how that works. And then there's a whole meter that wasn't there before. Yeah. Did they add limit breaks to Super Mario RPG?
I don't know. There's some cutscenes that they've added, entirely new cutscenes. I can't tell if they're in battle animations or they're just part of new scenes now. Gino looks
gorgeous.
Gino looks amazing. Malo looks great too. Malo's got some jiggle to him. If you look real close, he's got that cloud jiggle.
Yeah, I really wonder. Like, clearly that cutscene we saw of Princess Peach is, it's the beginning of the game. So, do we just have cutscenes, throughout the story now? Because that's kind of awesome.
That's amazing. Yeah, we all the scenes were like just, you know, text based. There was never really any like FFP, obviously nothing like that in its Nintendo era. So there's a lot of room to add things as well. Curious what they're gonna add, and I'm just thinking about other scenes in that game that are gonna be translated to this 3D space. Like, what was that place where you have to take a picture with Peach, but you might end up where you either kiss Peach or you kiss Bowser?
I think you can also kiss Booster, can't you?
Oh, I think so. Yeah.
You can get Bowser on one side and Booster on the other.
Things like that would be amazing. But yeah, I'm glad they're keeping this art style. Like, they're being weird with Mario again. If you haven't played Mario RPG, it is a weird game with enemies and designs of characters that you don't see anywhere else in the Mario series. And to see them realized in 3D in that way, it's so cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, and before I forget it, peace. Sorry, Becca. We were in heated conversation, so I had to let it wait for a bit. I am so flippin' excited for this. We got Yoko coming back to do the arrangements for the music.
Oh God, she was excited tweeting about that. I'm so here for hearing that remade. I'm so glad. I have full confidence it's gonna be a. I mean, which one we saw? We heard like 3 tracks in the trailer. Those are amazing already.
They purposefully did not put the Forest Maze theme in there.
Oh no, not yet. It's not.
We're waiting
yet.
on that one. I also wonder too, because like I'm pretty sure the Japanese game didn't have a subtitle, right? It was just Super Mario RPG. The subtitle was added to the English version.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's
so. People wondering why there's no subtitle in the English version. I think it's just because the original game didn't.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I do wonder, like, how much more are they going to add? Like, is there going to be new stuff to do? A new party member, perhaps? I think it would be really cool if they added Luigi as a party member somewhere in the game. Maybe like a new post game or something, or a new game plus. Like, you know, keep it faithful for the original playthrough, but like, you know, be willing to have some fun with it.
Super Luigi RPG just replaces Mario the entire game, just like Mario Galaxy.
I want to have my bros together at least one time.
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah, I really wonder how faithful they'll stay in those regards, or how much deviate and just say, screw it, let's add more party members, let's add more cutscenes, more enemies. Let's put an actual more Final Fantasy references in there if they wanted to at this point. Who knows?
It's a whole Final Fantasy boss fight just in that game. Why not have more?
Yeah.
It'd be really funny if Luigi was added as a party member, and then Mario and Luigi get to fight Sephiroth, just like all the memes.
Finally. Oh my God.
We don't know who's making it, right? We do not. They have not revealed who is developing this game. We don't even know if Square is involved. They might not be involved at all.
I know I saw their copyright, but that's just because they're using their characters. We don't know like what their involvement is in this game. So it could be anything, honestly. It could be anyone.
Yeah, I can't even quite tell from the just from the way it looks. Like, the cutscenes themselves make me think, hey, maybe it could be Square, because, you know, Square likes making cutscenes. But I don't know. At this point, I'm not too concerned about who's making it, because it just looks good. Like, whoever ends up developing this, if it's a new team or a underrepresented team, they're gonna get some clout after this.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be well deserved. Playing that day 1, I am here to see the return of Gino and Malo. Just, yeah, all the characters. Boshi's coming back.
Plan Ordo says, find Samus sleeping, and she says, what the heck is Metroid Prime 4? I think they're going to do something different. I think Samus is just not going to be there, and there's going to be a note instead saying that she had to go for some reason. She's on a mission.
There was the Samus cameo, the Link cameo, You see the different toys in Booster's place with the Samus and Discoon. I guess maybe that was Rob sitting under Peach as well. And
then the car from that racing game I can't remember the name of.
Oh, Stunt Race FX.
Stunt Race, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. Man. I want to play it. I can't believe that's this year. This and Mario Wonder are this year.
I know. It's going to be nuts. October and November are going to be 2 months of Mario for me. 2 months of Mario and Baby.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge for you, I guess. Balancing all of that for the first time.
I mean, Super Mario RPG isn't like the longest game in the world, so...
Yeah.
You know. Can also play in handheld if needed. So many uppies in Brandon's life. Yep, they're coming. The uppies are coming.
Gotta get her a little Princess Peach outfit.
Princess Peach outfit, Toad outfit. I'm gonna make her Mayor Pauline at one point, and I'm like, I'm setting you up for your future. You're gonna be a girl boss.
Future mayor, right here.
Yeah, things are looking great for Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish we had seen a little bit more Super Mario RPG because I just want to know. Same with Super Mario Brothers Wonder. But they're not even that far away, so it's like, what could they tell me?
Yeah, we saw a lot. I feel like we saw plenty, and yet I still want to see more. But at this point, like, I know what Mario RPG is. I kind of just want to get it and then play it. I don't really need to see much more at this point to be convinced, at least.
Oh,
But
yeah, like, there's no convincing that needs to be done, of course.
yeah, well, now
Remember,
I know why it wasn't in the NSO catalog. They were playing this all along.
I do wonder, though, if that means they're just not going to release it, or if they will, because, like, Super Mario 64 is on NSO, but also in 3D All-Stars, and they're two different versions of the game. Like, they're not even the same. It's not even the same version. So I think there's still room for them to do that, or include it as a bonus,
Hey
just
everyone.
on the cartridge.
Anyone else like me disappointed by the latest Nintendo Direct?
Like, you unlock it while playing the game,
Mhm.
kind of like Metroid Prime with Metroid NES.
Yeah.
Lord Clump says, "Hey GBG, 3 months tier 1 sub, thank you."
Thank you.
Hey everyone, anyone else like me disappointed by the latest Nintendo Direct? No, we talked about that. Daniel and I were very much not disappointed.
Our accompanying crew was a little bit let down, but we certainly weren't. We were quite excited about what we saw. Although I guess if you're not really into Mario, then first of all, who are you? And second, and that after that, yeah, I guess if you're not into those games, and you're not into, just the Mario hype, then I guess not. But there were so many things that they showed otherwise. If you weren't into that, I mean, they showed the Pokemon DLC, Mario, Sonic Superstars, obviously, Persona Tactica got a release date. There were other games like the Metal Gear Solid Collection was coming. You're getting the Batman Arkham Trilogy. Bay Farm was on there. I remember some people were excited for that. Silent Hope looked cool, in my opinion, for what we saw so far. And then you so much Pikmin. This machine became a Pikmin machine overnight. With this, with Pikmin 1 and 2 now available right now on the NSO, or not NSO, on eShop.
Oh yeah. I need to pick those up. I think they were priced a little too high for my taste. But you get a discount if you buy them both, I guess, which is fine.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was gonna get them both anyways, but 50 for both, yeah, it's a little much.
I was kind of hoping for 40 between the two. I think that would have been a little bit more fair. Because also, like, they're not like Metroid Prime Remastered. They call that remastered, but that's a remake.
It's like a remake. That totes the line between what is actually a remake and remaster. That's definitely more remake territory, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I think the pricing isn't quite justified, but you know, Metroid Prime was $60, and each of these games individually are what, 30? So
Yeah, 30 and 30 if you want to go ahead and step
I
early.
I guess it makes sense in the end. I'm just a grumpy old man. Um, yeah, so it's cool that those are out and available now. Metroid Prime Remastered was 40. Was it?
Mhm.
Oh, well, never mind. They're not justified anymore.
Oh.
Pricing isn't justified anymore. I'm angry again.
But there's 2 games. I know what you mean though. I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah. But I'm excited to play those. Pikmin 4 just keeps looking better and better every time I see it.
Looks so good. I'm one of the reasons I'm a big fan of Pikmin 2, partially because of the caves. This may not be a popular opinion, but I enjoy exploring those caves, and they have expanded them by a whole lot in this game. There's a lot more to do underground. I guess that's just a thing for Nintendo games now. We're going underground into the depths. And then there's the whole nighttime sequences as well, which there's just ghost Pikmin. They look adorable. I love the little ghost Pikmin at nighttime.
Yeah, they're really cute. I said this during stream as well. I keep saying that. But I'm a
happened?
little disappointed that the 2-player is kind of stripped down compared to Pikmin 3, because Pikmin 3 Deluxe's co-op is fantastic. And I was kind of hoping to play through Pikmin 4 with Michaela, but she's not gonna want to be a cursor.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be a cursor.
Not the little brother mode. Oh no.
So yeah, it is what it is. Like, the way the game's designed is very different than past Pikmin games, so it makes sense. So that's fine. I'm gonna buy it. I want to play Pikmin 4 real bad.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, there's 2 messages from Lord Clump for 100 saying, I'm into the RPGs. I'm into the RPGs for Mario, but a remake of the first one, nah. How dare you?
It's a good game.
It's a fantastic game. I'm a big fan of that one. Mario
I've had
RPGs, any Mario RPG, honestly, it doesn't have to be Paper Mario. The first one laid the foundation for what we would get for Mario RPGs going forward.
Paper Mario wouldn't exist without Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
It was originally a sequel to that game.
It was originally Mario RPG 2.
Yeah.
And then also the other message saying, only 2 highlights for the Direct for me: the Sonic Mania Team 3D platformer, that is Penny's Big Breakaway, I believe, and WarioWare. Yep. Fair. I mean, WarioWare, those look fantastic. Looks like the weird zany goodness we've been wanting to have. And Penny's Big Breakaway, I didn't even realize that they were working on a game, and it looks really good.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one.
Comes out early next year. That's a day one buy for me. Like, I've seen a lot of 3D platformers in the last couple of years from various indie companies and whatnot. This is the first time I saw a 3D platformer for the first time from an indie that's immediately said, yeah, I'm going to buy that.
It looks so good. Traversal looks amazing.
Not to beat a dead horse, but the yo-yo mechanic kind of reminds me of Glover, where like your abilities don't necessarily come from yourself, but you're like using a tool in a unique way. In this case, being a yo-yo instead of a ball, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of different fun ways you can use a yo-yo for traversal, for fighting, for, as we've already seen in that, and that's exciting. Yeah. Music is by T. Lopes as well? I
think T. Lopes, I'm pretty sure he's on that soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the Mania team doing their own thing right now, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, I mean, it works for me. We already got another Sonic game coming out, so let them make their own game. It's gonna be awesome. I saw a tweet from Artsy Omni showing that Penny's eyes are just Sonic's eyes inverted.
Oh, really?
So like Sonic's eyes, they go up, down, curve around, and then go back up again. But Penny's eyes just take those 2 sides and just switch them.
I need to look at that right now. Big breakaway. Oh, I see now. They do go outward.
Yeah, it's just literally the opposite of Sonic's eyes. It's quite good.
I like their logo too. Everything about this looks really really nice.
Gives me that Sega Genesis Sonic 3D Blast kind of vibe.
Yeah, definitely.
Look,
see where they...
I did predict Sonic 4D Blast, and
You know
I'm
what?
not gonna say we didn't get it.
In some kind of turn back around way, yeah, we kind of got this. We kind of got exactly that.
Sumo with 100 tickets says Star Ocean Second Story remake hype. There's a certain Square developed game that had pixel sprites and 3D environments that happen to also be sci-fi fantasy. What game are you talking about?
Wonder what that
could
could
it
be.
Could it be a game about gears, perhaps?
Could it be a game that has a lot of relevancy all of a sudden due to other titles that have brought it back? Yeah, that would be... I want to see that. I mean, this one is kind of borrowing that HD 2D style. There's like actual 3D environments, but the sprite work and the lighting really reminiscent of what you see in like Octopath and Triangle Strategy.
They actually did the same style in Dragon Quest X Offline as well, where it's kind of a mix. Except the character models are 3D, but the environments are kind of that HD 2D look. It's neat.
Yeah.
My only worry about Star Ocean, I've never played a Star Ocean game, for reference, is that it looked kind of framey, especially during combat, and that's a little concerning.
There's a lot happening in combat that caused those drops in the trailer.
Yeah. So I hope that's not a problem at launch, because, I mean, it's an action RPG in that style, and I think that's cool, so I'd like to at least try it.
Yeah. I should play that as well. I haven't tried much of the series myself as well.
It'll be on other systems. Oh, then I'll probably just play that on PlayStation, just in case.
Yeah, probably.
I've already decided I'm getting Sonic on PlayStation 5, especially knowing that there's no online. Like, I just don't care. I'm just gonna play it on PS5 where it looks the nicest. Becca's asked. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna get the 100 from Stacy. My highlight was Super Mario RPG. Never got to play the first time around. Wish we got level 5 release dates. Yeah, if you haven't played it before, this is definitely the time to play. Solid recommend if you ever had any interest in any Mario. Well, Paper Mario or otherwise.
It's it laid the groundwork for what came later, and if you're a Paper Mario fan and you don't buy it, I'm gonna be a little mad at you.
Mario Luigi fans, all you fans out there, get on this game. Don't sleep on it. Even though
if you weren't able to tell from gameplay and you've never looked at Super Mario RPG, it has action commands. It started that. So like if you like that gameplay, play it, please.
Please play it. Please support it.
Yeah, I kind of hope Super Mario RPG gets us remakes of Paper Mario 1 and 2 in the future. Like, you know, there have been a lot of remakes in the Switch era, and that hasn't really bothered me because a lot of them have just been really good. Like Metroid Prime, fantastic remake. Super Mario RPG looks like a fantastic remake. Link's Awakening was good.
That was the first time I played Link's Awakening. I never played the Game Boy version, so I don't know all the little like. Well, I'm more aware now of what it improved upon, for management, other things.
Not beating you down with a text box every time you touch a rock and your power bracelet isn't equipped.
Oh gosh, yeah, I can't imagine dealing with that for an entire experience of a game. Yeah, I want to do at some point, hopefully soon. I keep telling the other guys I want to do a discussion about specifically like remakes and remasters of games, how they're important to our like the actual atmosphere of gaming's preservation wise. Just which ones do it better? Do we prefer the remake, the remaster, or do they both coexist? Be a fun time. do that soon. Hopefully soon when I get enough people around together.
Yeah. Another game we saw, we talked a little bit about it, but we didn't really dive in, was Dragon Quest Monsters. I'm kind of hoping that game sticks the landing, because I'm just kind of tired of waiting for the other Dragon Quest games that I'm looking forward to more, like Dragon Quest 3
Where
and Dragon Quest 12.
where are they? We heard about them once and then never again.
3 specifically. What is making 3 take so long? I don't understand.
Get it? Like,
Is
no
it done and they're
updates?
just waiting? Yeah. I know Square's like cranking out games like faster than any company I've ever seen, but still, it's not that long of a game.
This is like the one that I want to see them show off more. But yeah, we got, I mean, Final Fantasy 16 is literally happening like very extremely soon. And then we got Final Fantasy 7 next year.
Oh, I mean, 16 came out last night.
Oh, it's already
We're in
okay.
it right now.
I thought it was tonight. Get that too. Man,
Yeah, it came out late last night.
I wanted to. Well, I guess no, it's fine. I'm not gonna like. It would have been fun to like do more demos on stream, but I kind of lost track of everything that was happening because there's so many things just coming out now.
There is a Pikmin 4 demo coming out on the 28th, so.
Oh yeah, might play the first one.
Just-
Who knows?
Blues Dragoon says, I'm surprised there's no Mario Party 3 mention. I'm not really. Doesn't seem like the place for that. They've just been announcing NSO games just on random days for the last like month. It's been weird. Like, we got Fire Emblem out of nowhere. Japan got Fire Emblem 6 and 7. It's just annoying.
Yeah, that's out very soon as well. Haven't played a Fire Emblem game before. That's how a lot of us got into Fire Emblem. If you're as old as I am, anyways. So that was my first Fire Emblem game. So it's a good entry point. You're curious about the series, and you have. So, but yeah, I mentioned this with John yesterday. All the titles that they mentioned in the September Direct last year that were gonna release on NSO, there was 5 of them. Only one of them has been released thus far. That was Pokemon Stadium. The other 4 are Stadium 2, Excite by 64, I think
1080 snowboarding.
1080 snowboarding, and then Mario Party 3, which I don't know where that is still, but it's hopefully coming up next. Who knows?
It makes me lose the faith that Diddy Kong Racing could ever come out, because like they're releasing these so slowly. I'm like, they're releasing them slowly because there's not going to be any more games after this, right? This is going to be it. I still want Smash 64. Why isn't it on NSO?
The Patty saying, wouldn't Lego Racers be rad on NSO? Yes, it would.
We got 2 racing games that need to come out.
Lego Racers and Diddy Kong Racing. Where are they? Banjo-Tooie? Are we just not gonna get the sequel as well?
Donkey Kong 64?
Where's the rare titles? I mean, we got GoldenEye.
Don't trap Donkey Kong on... Don't trap Donkey Kong 64 on the Wii U, please. I don't even like that game, but don't trap it there.
That game is a collectathon's nightmare. And Order's also saying Hot Wheels Turbo Racing. Oh my gosh.
Cruisin' USA, Cruisin' World Tour, Cruisin' Exotica. Cruisin' Exotica is one of my favorite N64 games. It's not even good. I just like it. Put it on the Switch.
That's how I feel about Cruisin' USA. I remember renting that from Blockbuster and just trying to figure out how it worked because I just wanted a new racing. There was nothing else to rent there. It's one of those ones that you just kind of get because you're at Blockbuster. There's nothing else that's available at that moment. But somebody else already rented Banjo-Tooie and you're just like, oh. But yeah, Vision's also Vision with 100 saying, I think all NSO games are so slow because they're going to continue releasing games for it for the next system. I mean, I'd be shocked if this NSO subscription doesn't carry on towards the next one and can't play these titles on there. No reason for it not to be that way.
the whole purpose for the Nintendo account system was to unify it for all platforms going forward. So if they backpedal on that, like, there's nothing I can defend you with. Like, that sucks. Do not do that.
So tired of getting these games over and over. I have
Like, I understand people who are like, no, I wish we could just buy the games instead. I'm not like that because chances are I just wouldn't buy most of them. I like the fact that if I'm subbed to NSO, all these games are just available to me, but with the condition that it stays that way. If that changes, then I'm gonna be upset.
no reason to change the structure that they have now. Just keep building upon it, and just make that subscription more and more sweet. Keep on adding more titles on there. The N64 library looks much nicer than it did when it first came out. Even though there's still a lot of glaring omissions, it looks very nice.
Like, most of the tentpole releases you'd want is from a first party standpoint are already there, and that's awesome. Same with like NES and Super Nintendo. Game Boy Advance not so much, but they're still building that one up. I can't believe they just re-released all the Mario Advance games. Like, I don't care. I can play the better versions of those games on Super Nintendo with the All-Stars release that's already there.
Their terrible naming convention of who misses Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario Brothers 3, and Super Mario Advance, Super Mario Brothers 2, and Super Mario just like stop.
Like, it's cool that Mario 3 at least got the e-reader levels. Like, that's a good reason to re-release that, but like,
oh, that's right.
I don't want to play Super Mario World on Game Boy Advance because it's a worse version of the Super Nintendo game.
The color palette looks weird and not right.
The music is bad. It just sounds bad.
I remember when I had a Super Nintendo, my grandpa's gave it to my cousin, and I never saw it ever again. I lost Mario World from that, and so I got it for the Game Boy Advance. That was the best thing ever for me because that was the only way I could play it was through that Game Boy Advance version. But I played it and I was like, this isn't the same. I don't feel the same as before.
Like, they do some cool remix stuff with those games. But no, the original versions are just better. They're just better versions of those games.
Yeah, as Jaden's saying, the reason the color palette was changed on GBA is the lack of backlight on the original GBA handheld. They did compensate the color palette so that it would look better on a darker screen. That same thing happened to Tales of Fantasia, which was a Super Nintendo game, Super Famicom rather, then ported to the Game Boy Advance with a very bright color palette. And the problem is now if you play that with backlight, it hurts your eyes. It's way too bright, and it's just not a good way to play it. Because now you play Mario Advance on the TV, the palette is blown out. It doesn't look right. That's just.
And you can really also hear like how awful the music sounds in specifically Super Mario World's re-release. Like, the other GBA Mario ports don't sound that bad, but for whatever reason, Super Mario World sounds like garbage.
Well, I guess because it's the one that was on Super Nintendo, so it had a more advanced sound. Well, more advanced sound capabilities than just like the NES chiptune. But then
I thought that too, but Yoshi's Island doesn't sound that bad.
oh, is that like, does that sound fairly similar to the original?
I thought it did.
Oh, okay.
Super Mario World just sounds like it's actively on fire to me.
I guess so. Okay.
Luigi has a unique Super Mario World sprite on Game Boy Advance. Well, on the in Japan, he also had a unique sprite. The Super Mario All-Stars version of Mario World has a great Luigi sprite that they never use ever, and it's good. It's my favorite Luigi sprite, like, from that era, and they never use him. It's maddening.
Annoyed by this. No, he's just always gonna be Green Mario to me in subtitles. Okay.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that sprite, look it up because it's quite nice.
That was the Mario All-Stars sprite?
Yeah, I think it's slightly different than the one. Uh, there's like two versions of it. I'm pretty sure, but he has like a unique jumping animation and everything. Like he doesn't put his arms up in the air. He just kind of jumps with his feet. I don't know. It just looks nice.
Yeah. Oh, poor Luigi. Oscar
I was just
saying
short end.
with 100 tickets, hey Daniel and Brandon. Oh my god, the Nintendo Direct was awesome for me. Tomorrow, happy birthday to Sonic the Hedgehog. I might be getting Sonic Origins Plus on Nintendo Switch, and also tomorrow is the Sonic Central Direct. Yes, it is. We are going to see and stream the Sonic Central Direct tomorrow on GG channel. I believe we're both going to be there, as well as the other
Yeah.
guys for GG. Very excited about that. I have to work on the thumbnail.
Do we actually think that's gonna have anything? Because I'm not convinced there's gonna be any announcements at all.
I think they're going to just be relaying information that we know. The Sonic
Yeah.
Origins Plus is coming out or is out now. Sonic Superstars, maybe there's going to be more information on that a little bit. We're going to see, I don't know, we're going to do a concert, who knows? What are they going to, what else can they advertise right now? What are we going to learn that it needs a sort of showcase like this right now? I wonder. Presentation.
There's also I guess we could get Frontiers DLC news, because like
Oh yeah, we haven't
there's
seen the
supposed to
characters.
be, yeah, the playable characters. We haven't seen any of that yet. That might get me to re-download Frontiers. I'm a little less positive on it than I think most of us were. Not as negative as Steve, but I did not love Sonic Frontiers. But with the other characters, I would like to at least try that.
Yeah, we haven't had a proper way to control Tails, Knuckles, Amy in a 3D space since Adventure, I'm pretty sure. The Adventure series. But I enjoyed Frontiers. I completely understand that it's a okay game, but I enjoyed running around as Sonic doing those stages. I think the stages themselves were, for the most part, fairly well designed, as far as like trying to speedrun all of them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot about the game I really like. It's the way that progression is handled that I did not like at all. It's just like I felt like I was running around with no purpose in my life. Just picking up these stupid keys
just
repeatedly.
Like Sonic. It's just that's how Sonic was, just running in circles. What does he do? He's seen everything. Yeah.
I also thought the level up system was not well designed. Cause like I don't know. I don't want to get into it because it just makes me upset.
Yeah, there's like ways you can upgrade your strength. Yeah, like with those seeds all at once, but then when you want to upgrade like your max speed or your max rings, you have to do one by one by one, and it's maddening.
You could also just draw circles repeatedly forever and just max yourself out. And I think that's bad. Like, I think it would have been more cool is if Sonic's strength and speed upgraded just by you doing those things. Like, oh, you ran around for X amount of minutes while doing stuff. Your speed increased naturally. Or you just beat X amount of enemies. Your strength's increased naturally. I don't know. That would have felt better to me, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. That was an unusual way to handle it. There's a lot of weird things about that game.
My favorite part about Sonic Frontiers was fishing.
Fishing, lo-fi fishing with Big the cat.
You got to fish out cool things, and I thought that was fun.
Fish out the goalpost from back then.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. So I enjoyed doing that.
That was my favorite bit of any dialogue in that entire game. Was what was her name? Gosh, I keep forgetting.
Sage?
Sage. So there's a part of the story where Sage meets up with Sonic, and Sage is like, "What is your end goal?" And Sonic's like, sometimes it's a spinning post, sometimes it's a giant ring." And she's like, "No, no," just like that. That was a perfect answer.
The writing in the game is pretty good. I love the character interactions, especially Sonic and Knuckles, like dude bro romance is just mwah, love it.
That's what we wanted. Yeah, the getting the real writers on the job for this one. That's what I really enjoyed about that writing.
So yeah, I'm certainly interested in seeing the DLC at the very least, so I can get more character interactions, fix the garbage leveling system, or I will literally cry.
The best part of that game for me was using the Sonic Adventure 2 soap shoes. I used those the entire time I played the game, and I don't regret it at all.
I never got my shoes to my email.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, that's messed up. Make sure you sign up for Classic Amy's outfit and make sure that you get that at least.
I would, but I don't think it looks very good.
They pretty much just kept her hair the same, but just to give her the dress.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like I thought it was gonna be modern Amy's entire design, but classic Amy with modern Amy's dress just doesn't look right.
I think I'll forgive it once I'm actually in movement, but who knows? I just did it anyway. But I'm just happy Amy's playable. Classic Amy. I gotta play as her Origins Plus. God, there's too many things happening just this week. What am I supposed to do?
I'm probably gonna pass on Origins Plus for now until there's a sale, because there's a good chance that's probably gonna go on sale. I'm in no rush.
Mm-hmm.
But Sonic Superstars though, that's a day one buy for me.
Gotta play more Sonic games on the channel.
We would have played Superstars.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to actually. That's gonna be one that we just play together when we're together again at some point, and it's really. But yeah, just any Sonic game, honestly. I don't care which one. If we just do what we did with all of Origins, and I play through a Sonic game and lose my mind as we're chatting together.
If Super Mario Wonder doesn't have online multiplayer, I'm gonna riot.
It has to, right? When 3D World has
3D
it.
World did. Yeah. Mario Maker has it. All the classic Mario games have it now because of NSO.
I mean, there's no way it wouldn't have it. I mean, that's why there's players, right? They wouldn't just exclude that. If they do, I'm losing my mind.
I'm gonna be grumpy.
So then we can be Peach and Daisy instead of Mario and Luigi now.
Oh, we're gonna have to do like 7 playthroughs for all these character pairs.
Oh no, what a problem to have.
Wow, if all the characters play differently, it sure might be fun to play it multiple times.
You hearing Nintendo?
You better be listening to me.
Oh yeah, Sumo's asking, what outrageous merch do you think they'll have tomorrow? Oh, you mean like to top the chain, the jewelry and the bling from last year's of Sonic and Knuckles and Shadow and all that? Outrageous merch this year?
Sonic's soap shoes.
Just more soap shoes. I would wear shoes like those. I know they've had them before. But it's one of those cases of it'd be too nice to wear. I don't want to get it dirty.
That's true.
Instant.
A life-size Knuckles mascot costume.
Oh, dude, like, what if they were like boxing gloves, but they were Knuckles' mitts instead, and they have like the little spike on them anyways?
And the spikes aren't soft. They're sharp.
They're actually meant to dig into the
ground.
ground.
Don't punch anybody.
Oh my god.
An entire Sonic the Hedgehog. Life-size Sonic the Hedgehog that you wear around your neck.
Like a life-size Sonic the Hedgehog? Sonic the Hedgehog, or like a hedgehog Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I said outrageous, and one way to make it outrageous is to make it completely impractical.
Oh my god. Oh, I know what they'll do, like a figurine, but it'll be of Sonic dead from the murder mystery game. Sonic figurine. He's just laying there in the Family Guy dead pose.
I forgot about the Sonic visual novel. I never played it.
Dude, we should play that and just voice the whole thing.
I'm down.
I would be
Wait,
down
is there no voice acting?
There's no voice acting in that game. I think it's just all text.
Oh, well, we're definitely doing that then.
Oh my gosh, are you all down for that, everybody? Well, we gotta. We gotta get more
we gotta
people
get
here.
Ash for that. Yeah.
Yeah, we absolutely have to have more of us on here. We can probably get John on here. Just do a whole voiceover of this thing.
We could get Steve in here to to use his deep tails.
I heard Tails is pretty consistent to the story because he's dressed up as a detective. I think he's your partner for the adventure for most of the game. So I think he's with you for most of that story.
Oh, okay, that's good to know. Who would voice Amy? Amy, obviously.
Get Amy on.
You're down to see Sonic die in a game? Wow.
I mean, so was Sega, clearly. It's official from them as well.
I already played Sonic Forces.
Oh god. He's dead, Tails. He died in 06.
Oh.
Yeah, they sure like killing Sonic over and over again, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Maybe
yeah.
Sega doesn't actually like Sonic. It's all a ruse. A ruse, the bat.
Oh my god.
I'll see myself out.
How dare you? Rouge is also in that game. A lot of fan service to characters that we don't see too often. Like Blaze is in there too, Vector and SBO. Apparently Charmy is not in that game because who knows why.
Because he's not very charming.
I think Shadow's a barista. Or really, they all have
Shadow the barista.
Yeah, they all have like an occupation. It's really funny. But yeah. Right. Well, how would we do that? I think I would have to like screen share my screen, Discord, and we all just go off from that.
Yeah.
Figure that.
That'd be fun though.
This turned
I'd
from.
like to do more.
Oh, go ahead.
I'd like to do more voiced stuff as well. Just one, because it's good practice, and two, just because it's fun to do. Like, I think my favorite part of doing Fire Emblem 7 was just us voicing the whole cast. Like, that was just a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I want to do more of that too. We did that with Mario and Luigi. That was like the first time we really did that kind of voice, an entire game. But yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Doing this with Sonic, the murder mystery one. It's not too long. Could probably do like a stream or two of that. Yeah.
You're watching it live, folks. We have come up with a plan live on stream.
They don't know it yet, but we've roped them into something that they're going to be a part of. Brandon Bovey in chat, what's up? Saying I want to see fun VO stuff from y'all. I like Brandon and John and Ash. They've got the voice like on pat. They're doing more professional stuff with that right now. Getting jobs, getting signed in for things. I need to at least. I mean, I guess I kind of dabbled with. I have a lot of respect for the voice acting community. I've interviewed multiple people from that stuff. I want to be able to do more often with y'all, and it's a good thing to practice on here too. It's always a nice time. We ever do more? Yeah, we just gotta do more story related stuff.
I think the next stage for me is I really need a voiceover coach. Like, I took Joe Zeech's voice acting academy. I'm an alumni of that now. I got my certificate over here.
Oh, so that you've completed that.
I did. But he doesn't do coaching, so I would really like to have a coach of some kind, because like I've done like 300 auditions since the beginning of the year, and I've gotten 2 jobs.
Man,
I need some help, because like it's just competitive. You know, I have to do this through pay-to-play sites, and you know, by the time I see an audition, sometimes there might already be 100 people doing it, and half the time it won't even get listened to. So it's like
super competitive. Sure.
Yeah. So I need a coach. Somebody coach me, please. We had another idea. I think we've talked to you about this one, Daniel. About doing a manga read through.
Not sure
Maybe
if
make that a Patreon thing.
Oh, I'm not sure if I recall that. Maybe you talked about it.
I guess I'll just say it here, since we're going to do it eventually. I just don't know it. We're going to do a read through of the Four Swords Adventures manga, where we each voice a character
Oh,
as
okay.
practice.
This sounds more familiar now. I wasn't sure which one you mentioned, but yeah.
We just haven't put the plans together in place for that yet. But that might be like a Patreon only thing, so we don't get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fun. I know we had me, you, John, for at least for the GVG side. For that playthrough, we also had Xeon as our Red Link. Yeah.
Oh, for the game, yeah. But for the manga, I think it'll be us,
Yeah.
John, and Ash, and we don't have anybody else yet.
That'd be awesome.
To make this discussion full circle, what do you think of the talk about Mario and Wario sounding different? I don't want to make any declarations on what's happening there until we just know for a fact if Charles is doing it or not. Like, voices change. I don't think Charles has changed that much. Like, it's hard to say. There's different eras of Mario. Like, the Mario you hear in Super Mario 64 is more... And then as you get further on, like with Super Mario Galaxy, he starts getting lower. He's like, oh, yeah, oh. But, I don't know. We'll see.
I personally didn't really hear the differences too much. Like I wouldn't have been able to tell you one way or another that it's not Charles. We've also heard the same clips for years now that's been reused, and we're not used to hearing new voice samples now. But there's a lot of clips I heard during those presentations where I thought I think that's Charles. Personally, we just heard him in the Mario movie. He sounded like Mario in that movie just a couple months ago. So I don't really think I think we're just trained, and we've been conditioned to hear a certain tone of Mario for several years now. They don't record new ones for Mario very often.
Also,
yeah.
when Age of Calamity was coming out, a bunch of people thought Daruk was recast for some reason. He was not.
Heck.
Yeah.
Years. Yeah.
There's also the chance that they could just want to have Mario have a different vibe. Like, because it's a very different game, too.
Mm-hmm.
There's one line that, was only in the Japanese Direct, where he says, "Wonderful!" And it really doesn't sound like the Mario I know in that specific performance. But that doesn't mean it's not Charles.
I didn't hear that one.
You should listen to that line because it's a little different. But who knows? It could very well still be Charles. And even if it's not, man's almost 70 years old. He's got to pass the torch eventually. I'm just saying, call me.
Brandon's a young boy. He can do Mario for many, many years.
It would literally be a dream come true. Like, there would be no greater honor in my life than to take the mantle of Mario.
Yeah, man. If they do... Can you imagine one day they just do auditions and then there's just like hundreds of Mario voices just trying to become the next Mario? I think you'd also have to work on your other characters too, because I mean he does Luigi, Wario, Waluigi. You'd have to work on that range as well, not just be the Mario. I think.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, the only one I think I can confidently do well outside of Mario is Waluigi. Wario, it's hard for me to get a little gruffer. My Luigi is decent, but I don't practice him the way I do for Mario. So, I think I could do it. It also wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if the 4 main plumbers were all voiced by different people.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not like you hear Waluigi often anyways.
Yeah. Ordo says a number of Fire Emblem Awakening characters have the same voice actors in later games but sound different, for example.
Yeah, like Matt Mercer will voice Chrom until the end of time. Every opportunity, he's never not been Chrom in like the dozen or so games that he's been in it.
Listen to Chris Sabat's Vegeta. His Vegeta from early Dragon Ball Z, when Funimation took over from Ocean, does not sound anything like modern day Vegeta at all.
Yeah, they changed quite a lot.
Same with Piccolo, actually. Early Sabat is rough, but to be fair, in Sabat's credit, he was not a voice actor when he started.
That's impressive.
That man became a voice actor by doing it, and that's awesome.
Vegeta trained him.
Yeah, that's true. They were trying to voice match the Ocean dub, which you know, I like Drummond's Vegeta as much as the next guy, but it's not the Vegeta I think of when I think of Vegeta. Which is great in Super, where they had that little mini arc where you get the goopy purple evil Vegeta that they have Drummond voice. So you have Sabat versus Drummond both being Vegeta. It's a great episode. Just for that. Yeah. Xander's VA sounds vastly different in Fates versus Warriors and Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Oh.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's weird. Like it sounds. Direction just went different for each of those titles. Like I couldn't recognize Xander's voice. There's a lot of characters that have that situation happen. There's some that just they remain consistent. All the characters from Fates, from Awakening, from the 3DS era, essentially, they still have the same voice actors. The vast majority of them now play Fire Emblem Heroes. If you played Engage, all those lords have the same voice. They stay very consistent with that, which I appreciate.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's still Charles. I think people are jumping the gun a little bit. And to be completely frank, like, I would not be upset if Charles decided to retire. Like, that's completely within his right. He's been Mario for as long as I can remember. If someone new takes up the mantle, or if that's already happened, like, I don't think they're doing a bad job. I like the way Mario sounded.
Yeah. There's no reason to keep Charles long. He needs to retire if he's good. He's built that legacy. He is the voice of Mario, but that doesn't mean that we're not gonna have any other voices of Mario. I wouldn't expect. I guess they can always get Chris Pratt to replace Mario. That would be cursed.
Not my ideal world. I think Chris Pratt did a great job in the movie, but like,
yeah,
I want Mario to wahoo.
Yeah, in the context of the movie universe, he's fine being other characters. Charlie Day as Luigi, Anya Taylor-Joy as. I mean, you can make Jack Black Bowser whenever you want, though. That could be anytime.
That could be the real voice, and I'd be okay with it. At least we know. Well, I guess never mind. I was gonna say something, but it might be spoilery, so I won't say that. The movie is out though on home media, so if you haven't seen it yet, you should. It's good.
If you're a Mario fan, it's a delight to see all the. My sisters enjoyed it too. We all went to the theater to see that. I kind of dragged the whole family over to see that because it was. And it's funny because I had to explain to my stepmom a lot of things about the movie that they didn't realize was a thing since they played way back in the day, like the mini mushroom. It was like, why did
Mario.
He get small? Yeah, Cat Mario was a thing too.
The way they handled the mini mushroom in that movie is so weird to me. Like, they just wouldn't call it the mini mushroom. I'm like, that's what it is. Why are you being weird? Got the wrong mushroom. It's not the wrong mushroom. It's a different mushroom. People who don't like the mini mushroom power up just don't play Mario well.
I love the mini mushroom.
Be elitist about it.
How else can I run over water? And yeah, the way you had to like you had to ground pound the bosses so that when you clear the stage, you fall down that little chute and then you take the secret exit. I thought that was clever.
Oh yeah. And yet they call it the blue shell. It's not even like canonically the blue shell. Like its proper name is the spiny shell, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a spiny shell, but we all just call it a blue shell. That
They
was
handled the cat power up weirdly. Oh
mm,
yeah. They don't show the bell, right? He just becomes Cat Mario.
yeah, he hits the power up block and then he just becomes Cat Mario. You don't see the bell at all.
The actual scene with Cat Mario is great though. Like he's Cat Mario. He even does the dive.
It really leans into just he becomes cat, not just a suit.
Yeah. I love that fight scene too. Like it, clearly they were trying to evoke some Smash Brothers feelings, especially when Mario literally gets up smashed into the air. The name of the scene is Smash too. Like it's good.
Yeah.
I was happy to see Mario actually scrapping.
After getting tossed around quite a bit by DK, by Seth Rogen.
I think I'm more excited just for the second movie, just because I want the second movie just to have more Luigi in it. Luigi is the only thing about the movie that bugs me. Is like he didn't get enough screen time.
He was there in the beginning, and then you saw the part of the scene where he runs through the woods into the castle, then meets Bowser, and then he's just locked up for the majority of the movie.
In my perfect world for a Mario movie, there wouldn't be any damsel in distress of any kind. Like Bowser would just be trying to do something bad, and they just have to stop him.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just do that instead.
Yeah, that's opportunity to have for Luigi to have a mansion side plot. Yeah, they tried to definitely invoke that with the that foresty area with the dry bones, but I mean, you gotta have Luigi interacting with Booze. That's the iconic connecting tissue there for Luigi mansion. Yeah, there's a lot they can do with the next movie. A lot they can fix. Obviously, at the very end of that movie, you see how there's going to be certain characters going to be showing up a lot more prominently in this. I almost call it a game.
And they're going to have their proper voice. That's what I was going to mention earlier, but I didn't want to say who the character was. We got a little bit of breaking news. E3 has been canceled for 2024 and 2025.
Oh, I saw that earlier, but I wasn't sure when to bring that up. Yeah, E3 is dead. It is gone.
It's not coming back. I'm not really surprised, but to be told this early on, like, damn, it's gone. It's over.
You said that was what Wario64 posted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. According to the Los Angeles City Tourism Board of Commissioners, E3 is canceled for the year 2024 and 2025. It's gone. I'm not gonna be going to an E3 anytime soon, y'all. Oh my god.
I can't believe I literally went the last time it ever happened in person.
You've been to one.
It's the only E3 I went to. The last one.
Can't believe this.
It's also the one and only time I've ever seen John in person.
I still haven't seen John. I haven't seen John or Derek in person.
I told John that when WarioWare Move It comes out, I'm gonna fly directly into his house so we can play it.
Take me with you.
And I mean it, like the plane is just gonna
Just gonna fly through, and you're gonna show up on the front door doing this with the Joy-Con like Koizumi was.
Oh, I love the dumb dance. It's so good.
I kind of want to do a video on WarioWare, and the way that you clearly remember this in Smooth Moves when you're introduced to the form baton positions. The way that they announce them, the way that they're narrated to you, like,
Yeah.
the remote control, Hold the form baton straight with the tip pointing forward. This simple stance reflects one of life's greatest and fiercest sports, channel surfing. It's just really dumb stuff like that. Dude, it sounds amazing in French. It sounds like I'm being seduced if you ever listen to that in the French language.
Oh my.
And
I should listen to that.
and it's so different in the Japanese version because all the forms are actually it's more culturally accurate to Japan. Like what's an example? The handlebar that you do, like they call it the handlebar in U.S. territory, English speaking other territories. But in Japan, I think it's based on like a traditional, like a game you like, bring around the rosy sort of style of folk dance and culture, something cultural like that. It's completely framed in a different light, and you hear like a shamisen in the background. It's very peaceful and serene, and they kept the water that flows in the background. There's like water gently flowing back there because it's supposed to be like one of those very Zen garden style areas that you hear it in. I kind of want to do a comparison of like WarioWare for different. I thought that was really cool to see that. But
Just doing some WarioWare videos in general would be nice because I think that series is just vastly underappreciated.
yeah.
One of my favorite GameCube games is Mega Party games. Like,
Oh my gosh.
so much fun. Refined versions of the micro games from the Game Boy Advance version, but framed with these really like off the wall big party game settings. It's just a good time. Like, I could play the Jimmy T version or Jimmy T party game where you're just like rapid fire playing micro games. I could play that all day.
Such a good genre.
I hope they have more of those modes in Move It, because like they had some of them in Get It Together, but not enough. Like, I need all kinds of weird ways to interact with the mini micro games. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think I spent the most time with Smooth Moves and also with Touched. Touch was a fantastic game. Well, absolutely no button inputs, all touchscreen, and that's where you get like classics like Mona Pizza and Ashley's Theme. That's where those came from as well, and just
I think
stuck in my brain.
the two worst WarioWare games are probably Twisted and the DSi camera one.
What was that, like DIY? Was that one of them?
Not DIY. There was a DSi only WarioWare game that used the
Oh.
camera.
That was a different one.
WarioWare Snapped or something?
I don't even remember at this point.
I loved Mario. I loved WarioWare DIY. If that was on Switch, I think the community for that would be thriving.
Yeah, those do-it-yourself games. I mean, you saw what happened with Mario Maker. It'd be similar to that in some vein. Yeah, you haven't played Smooth Moves. I mean, I'm pretty sure the title of Move It is Super Smooth Moves in Japan. It's just a sequel. It's like it's a spiritual. It just is a sequel to. So.
A sequel to the best WarioWare ever made, and this time the controls won't break.
Yeah, that's the one thing is that when I tried to play it in a party setting, not everyone understood that you had to point in conjunction with the sensor bar. So now that it's just Joy-Con, it'd be a lot easier to manage that with people.
Yeah, there was a first time I played it. There were some micro games that just didn't work. Sorry, that was a very loud sound from my. I'm the only one here, so hearing something like that is concerning. Isn't there a micro game where you have to like scan food at the grocery store?
Oh yeah. Wait, there's like one where you have to rotate it to
Yeah,
get the
yeah.
barcode. Yeah.
The first time I ever played that micro game, for whatever reason, it just didn't work. Like, the Wii remote was just freaking the hell out. So I look forward to not having that problem.
Yeah, there's some that work very well in the context. The ones that work best are the ones where you don't have to worry about the sensor bar, in my opinion. Where you have to point, or like ones where you have to focus the camera and you're pushing in and out to zoom in because it's contextual to how close you are. But sometimes it just would never work for me.
We have a mini game in Super Mario or Mario Party Super, or not Super Mario, Super Mario Party, where you're like focusing the camera to take pictures of Koopas.
Mm-hmm.
Works way better in Super Mario Party than it ever did in WarioWare.
Yeah, yeah. The loss of a sensor bar will make this so much more accessible and a lot more fun to just play in general.
I hope that they also bring back some of the Smooth Moves micro games. Like, if they just put all those micro games in there as unlockables, that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be great.
There's like no reason not to.
They can all work, especially the ones where there was like a form where you use the nunchuck. There was like one form, one mode only, where you use the connected. I think it was called like the diner.
Mm-hmm.
And you just bring all those back with the Joy-Con. That's just how you're. It's as if that's gonna be the standard way to play, anyways.
We know it's at least 2-player, but oh no, we know it's 4-player because of that board game mode they showed.
Mm-hmm.
But there are certain micro games that are co-op, I guess.
Brandon
Or maybe
Bovia,
they're all co-op.
Brandon Bovia says Switch 2 gonna ship with the sensor bar. You get out of here. Can you imagine?
That is. Then Jam says the butt slapping micro game.
Can you imagine just there's gonna be mini games where you slap something. I don't know if it's gonna be a butt.
I love that one they showed of the 4 like soda bottles, and you have to shake them, but it just looked like Gmod craziness.
You're just shaking it,
Freaking out
like,
all over the place. I could literally hear the Gmod source metal banging sound effect as they were like freaking out. Oh god.
Oh my goodness.
We're definitely gonna play some Smooth Moves, or Move It. Hopefully, I mean, WarioWare's never had online. I don't see any way that would really work. But I don't care. We're gonna play Move It anyway.
Find a way to. We'll connect our Switch with a very long wire and make that work somehow.
We're gonna have 2 separate games of WarioWare going on at the same time, with us just doing goofy poses.
We can just do that with Smooth Moves if we wanted to. We'll just hook it up. We'll play that way.
I need to get a copy of Smooth Moves. I don't have one.
Oh.
Yeah. I also need new Wii remotes because I don't think mine work anymore either.
Oh no.
My Wii setup is very scuffed.
Man. Yeah, I didn't get. So that direct was pretty great all around. I didn't get F-Zero Impulse. Didn't happen. Very sad about this. Did you see that part of the direct, or not direct predictions I did with John?
I saw your logo, yeah.
No, that came from Nintendo. That I'm gonna absolutely send to IGN, and they're gonna make a whole article about it. And then 5 years later, I'm gonna be the next Rogers base saying, "I just sent the thing."
Oh god, that's such a good video.
If you haven't seen that video on Digino Gaming, on Star Fox, please do that. It's wonderful.
I went to brunch with Roger in Chicago a few weeks ago, and I got the early scoop that was coming out.
That was great.
I was so excited because like the whole story is like so ridiculous.
Journalism at its peak, at its finest. Yeah, that happened, and I guess I'm still waiting for Fire Emblem. See, I mean, I can't say I'm waiting because we've just been eating Fire Emblem for the last 2 years at this point, so it's fine.
You get Fire Emblem almost as much as I get Monster Hunter. Yeah. I feel like I see Ash's soul leave his body a little bit more every time something Monster Hunter gets announced. And I'm like, buddy, in September, I'm about to get 6th gen Monster Hunter, so you better be prepared.
All of this, and they dare to feed Brandon like 6 Mario games in one direct, and no Rhythm Heaven.
Brandon is eating good right now.
I know the consensus for people is like, why are there 2 WarioWare games and only one Rhythm, and not any Rhythm Heaven instead? The thing is, like, yeah, as we mentioned earlier, WarioWare had its like kind of spin-off with Get It Together. It wasn't a true like entry into the actual core series of WarioWare, the way that Move It is. So I think it's gonna be very, very telling what comes after this game. Like if it's another WarioWare on like the next console, and I don't know about Rhythm Heaven, y'all, but the thing is, like, Wario is just more marketable. That series has sold, I think, twice as much as Rhythm Heaven has sold ever in its lifetime. It's just numbers speaking.
Rhythm Heaven is going to be a filler title for them whenever it does happen, which is sad, but like, is what it is. Like, what I expect will happen is that the next Rhythm Heaven will be Mega Mix again, but with more stuff.
Yeah.
Which is not to say anything about bad about Mega Mix. Mega Mix is a great game.
That's the Giga Mix that's coming at some point.
Yeah. So hopefully it happens. And I don't see there's no reason they couldn't be simultaneously working on WarioWare and a Rhythm Heaven game.
Yeah. Oh man, Brandon Bovia and Oscar are going to be playing the Blazing Blade when it releases on NSO. I hope you all enjoy that as much as we did. I can say we did because we play that on stream. It's our series. I wish that was one of the series that died along with not having the VOD channel up early.
Free VOD channel. Yeah.
It's just in scattered pieces at this point. So is Mario and Luigi, which I still think we should attempt to do again.
If it works on NSO, I'm down to play it again.
We should try that when this is over. Just attempt it to see if it even works. See.
I'm down.
Lost.
I don't know how much longer you want to go, but I need to eat my lunch, which I gotta go get. So I'll be right back.
Oh yeah, no problem. It will be here and entertain the masses. Got here, everybody. We got 43 people here just listen to us ramble and talk about random stuff. I guess the direct is always talk about. I try to have this happen every time we have a direct, just to have things to chat about. Last time we had a good panel with other people in our community. Then the Nintendo Roundtable, David, Common RDW, Alec and stuff, Yo Schiller. We might do a proper discussion of that on the channel fairly soon, because we still got a lot of stuff to say. I felt bad because I wasn't able to salvage my audio, so it's just me and Steve missing from the reaction that we had, and our audio was just, there was a lot of technical problems. So we're gonna streamline that. We're gonna make it even. We're gonna make sure that that happen a more manageable way for all of us.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't prepare properly.
All good. Yeah, we had a meeting earlier. We were just like, yeah, we're just gonna kind of probably pass along the responsibility to different people, because Steve, Derek, John, and we can all run a stream. Only thing with me is I just need to get the stream key each time, but I got it handled pretty well. But yeah, it was also 7 a.m. for some of us, for half of us. That was...
Oh, you know what?
What's up?
Xfinity was supposed to be in my neighborhood today doing construction. I'm supposed to not have internet at all right now.
Oh. But here he is.
Because I think they're installing fiber in my neighborhood. And I'm like, if you're doing that, does that mean it's going to fix my my problems? Can I stream again?
And Brandon stream finally?
The problem is, like, I have no issues, like, streaming on my own if I'm going to, like, stream Monster Hunter over here or whatever. Because, like, if it goes down, it goes down, whatever. But I don't want us to be doing something important, like GVG Cast or a reaction stream, find out my internet's going to shit the bed, and then there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, I've been feeling that for a while. Like, it's weird to think that when we started this channel, or when we started to convert it to Good Vibes Arcade, rather, I was streaming Baby, and Brandon was handling all the big boy stuff. And then once that internet issue started to happen, I just kind of learned myself, and now I've been doing it for most of this time now. It's weird to think that, but if you can get fiber, that would be a godsend to our production, because obviously you know your way around handling a stream, and that would benefit GVA and Good Vibes Gaming.
Please.
I overcame the skill issue. I sure did. I had to learn. I didn't want to. I did not want to let the channel just flounder, and here we still are. 20 months later, you gotta do something. You gotta do something for It's gonna be. Brian.
God.
We should do some
It's gonna
races.
be 2
on
years.
here. We should do some
It's gonna
races.
be 2 years when my baby's born.
Oh my gosh. That's insanity. Yeah, right after I'm always thinking about it at PAX, like, oh, that's the time when the idea was birthed and it became a thing. And I came home from PAX and I was like, I'm gonna make all these assets, I'm gonna make the logo, I'm gonna do everything.
We went hard.
We sure did. Then we told Steve how much it would be after the fact.
And then and then he went hard.
Yeah. But oh my.
We didn't really talk about Detective Pikachu, no.
That's true. I knew that was Detective Pikachu before anybody else, and I was like, it looks kind of flat. I'm just like, that's definitely a 3DS game.
It doesn't look good. It's a little disappointing. Like, I'm sure the game itself was probably fine, but visually speaking,
yeah,
it looks unfinished.
The presentation is fine, I think. Like, the voice acting, I enjoy. It's leaning into the anime because the Pokemon actually say their names. They're not making their Game Boy Sprite era sound effects. They're actually speaking, and that's charming. I want that to be how it is in the mainline series. I know there's like over freaking 1,000 Pokemon to do that with, but still, it'd be nice to have that change. But
those games also theoretically take place in the anime world, because like there's the reference to Ash Ketchum in the first game.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's been so long at this point. I can't believe after all this time, it just decided to re-emerge and resurface just like this.
If you haven't seen that scene from the first game, look it up on YouTube. It's really charming. Detective Pikachu comes out of a coffee shop, I think, and runs into another Pikachu and starts talking to it. And the other Pikachu's like, he translates for us. And the other Pikachu is telling him about how his trainer wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. It's very cute.
I live for those. I mean, Detective Pikachu took a weird turn, having the game, and then the movie came out, and then there's no sequel to that movie. It kind of helped jumpstart having games be introduced to media more often, especially with like the Sonic movie, the Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Hopefully that game does well. I'm always a fan of Pikachu having an aggressively deep, gruff voice for some reason. There was somebody would bring me a coffee right now.
It's a little disappointing that the original game didn't get ported alongside of it, because it's story focused, and if you don't have the plot, you're just gonna be lost.
Gotta get it on 3DS with that massive Pikachu amiibo that's like 3 times bigger than the other ones. I wonder if they'll do a reprint of that now that this is.
You gotta get it on 3DS with that eShop that no longer exists.
Yeah, you think they would have announced the original too, for those who just can't get a physical copy.
Mm-hmm.
Reading. He is dead. Funny, I could in that thumbnail right now. I could do a whole presentation. I was gonna tell everyone if Brandon wasn't here, I was gonna be like, well, if you guys want to play a game, just let me know what you want to do. But in my case, I don't know what else I would do. Stuff right now. Yeah, I wasn't sure what I was gonna play right now because I've gone through the ones I wanted to do solo. I played Banjo-Kazooie. 100%ed that one. I might do Pikmin. Like, I was curious to do Pikmin, but there's a lot of stuff I want to play. I don't know. What do I do, Brandon?
I think Pikmin would be good.
First
How about
one's pretty-
1,000 Year Door?
Oh yeah, I have to do the 1,000-year door, but only upgrading my BP.
That's the most fun way to play that game.
Badge point. Have you done the playthrough like that before?
Yeah. I kind of botched it at the end though, because I started leveling up after it was maxed out.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to start trying to avoid fights where possible.
Oh, but did you do that for the original Paper Mario or the 1,000-year door?
The original, because the max level in 1,000 Year... Is there even a max in 1,000 Year Door? I don't know.
I think you can just keep leveling up. I know it's definitely beyond 30, which... that's what I did on stream, was I leveled up my BP, and I also, when I was able to meet Chet Rippo or Rip Cheeto, whichever one of those two it was, I decreased my HP to 5. So I was always in danger.
Oh, you went even less. I mean, doing that and what is it, close call?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Makes you stronger when you're in danger.
Close call means that the enemies will sometimes miss, but then you also get Power Rush. That'll boost your attack, and then Mega Rush if you're in peril at all times.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave everyone anxiety for that whole time. Brandon Bowie, yeah, Paper Mario Ultra Instinct. That's when you use Super Guard in 1,000-year door. That's the Ultra Instinct kicking in.
I remember fighting the secret boss at the end of the Pit of 100 Trials.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time I ever made it to the end.
Don't tell me we're gonna have a similar experience, but go ahead, please go on.
And it had that like poison breath attack.
Yep.
And it do like 20 HP or something. And I would have died, but I said, you know what? There's only one way I'm gonna get out of this. So I super guarded that bitch.
You just guessed it. You hit the button that just happened to be the right time, and you survived, and then you destroyed that super boss.
That's not the only nutty thing that happened to me during that fight. I also got triple poison mushrooms on the roulette.
Oh god. No,
But
that's the worst time.
right after doing that, though, the next one I got was triple shine sprites. So I got all my stuff back afterwards.
Wow.
But those couple turns where I had no HP were very scary.
I can't believe we had... I mean, it wasn't my first playthrough, but I had a similar experience where I would have died had I not super guarded the breath. And because when you super guard, when you do regular guard, you decrease the damage by like 1 or 2, which is nothing when you're getting hit for like 20 damage. But when you super guard, you completely nullify it, and if it's an attack where they physically hit you, you counter for a damage. So yeah, real nutty, that battle system. I want to try that. I got my GameCube right here. I could probably hook up the actual GameCube and try that.
The other interesting thing, too, is that unlike the first Paper Mario, your party members actually have HP.
Mm-hmm. I really like that.
Yeah, it's a lot... It makes it feel more like an RPG than like Paper Mario, where your party members are just kind of there.
Yeah, I mean, there's only like 3 or so instances where your party members can get damaged throughout the game, and they lose like a turn or 2 depending on how hurt they are, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. You can't like swap back and forth and actually let Mario take a backseat to getting hit for all the damage.
Yeah. I there's a lot of stuff about the first Paper Mario I like more, and then a lot of stuff about the sequel that I like more. Like, I don't know.
Mhm.
I think it'd be cool if there was kind of like a mixture of the two. Or if they remade the original Paper Mario, maybe add some of that stuff from Thousand Year Door in. Like,
Yeah.
give your party members HP, make your party members actually speak to you after you meet them the first time. There's just cardboard, no pun intended, but like after
It's
they
all
join your
paper.
party, they just kind of don't interact with you.
There are so few instances where they'll talk to you throughout the story, but it's only like a little dialogue box or two, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice because yeah, throughout Thousand Year Door, it your party member who's with you, they'll say something depending on where you are, but it's different for each character. There were times where the whole group is together and they're all chatting together, and it's good. It feels like a group of friends that have gone together to go on this journey. And I hope it feels that
in
way
the
with
first
original.
Paper Mario, he just yanks a person out of a light bulb and says, "You're my friend now."
You're my child now, baby. I always blow up the lamp to get Watt out, by the way. That's the proper way to release her.
What, with like Bombette?
Yeah. Because she has different dialogue if you blow it up instead of just hitting it with the hammer. You're crazy, mister.
Oh, he's crazy, all right.
This unhinged Mario. Paper Mario is actually much more unhinged than others.
If they ever make a new Paper Mario game, as if they won't, if they ever make another classic Paper Mario game, I should say, it'd be cool if it took place in the same Mushroom Kingdom as the original one, because that version of Toad Town is so comforting to me.
It's so nice.
The kind of pinkish tone brick flooring, just the shapes of the houses, the music. I don't know. Toad Town just feels like a place I'd like to go to.
It feels so nice. And there's like the little pipe that goes to Mario's house just right there. Although just the aesthetic of watching the houses kind of unfold and open up, like it's really just like this little diorama of different houses together. Yeah, just that vibe. There's toads with different looks and designs and personalities, and they're not all the same. Major factor for me, in my opinion. Man, yeah.
I'm probably in the minority, but like Origami King got very close for me. Like a few more steps and they would have been right there. Like Origami King is actually a game I think I would go back and play a second time. But like still the unique character designs are a big draw. Like, how am I supposed to distinguish Red Toad from Green Toad when they look exactly the same outside of their color?
Yeah, it's hard to like distinguish those characters. I want to be able to look at them and be like, okay, this Toad has his personality, and there's characters that do that throughout the game. There's characters that have their own actual personality and their own designs to them, but it's just not quite to the level of the original Paper Mario game.
Yeah.
Achieve that kind of feel.
I know some people really dislike the ring combat, like Brandon in the chat, but I actually really liked it myself
Really?
because, well, I mean, every fight actually felt like I had to use my brain to get things done, you know, versus like Sticker Star and Color Splash, where you're kind of just countering enemies with, I don't know, it just seems not very intuitive or interesting. But like the ring I could actually have fun with, and I like how the boss battles were the opposite, where Mario was on the outside of the ring instead. There was some interesting stuff with that. Like, obviously it's not classic Paper Mario, and I know that's what people really want. It's what I want, but at least they made a game that was fun for once.
Yeah, they've kind of got back on track with King. Yeah,
Got some hella good music.
some of the best music yet in a Paper Mario game. Honestly, that was great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, as Vidron is saying, Mario RPG retains the unique designs. Yeah, very faithful to how it originally looked, design and style characters as well, which
Can
see.
can you imagine the uproar if they had stripped the toads of their unique designs?
Oh, they're all just red toads, blue toads, green toads, and yellow toads. That's it. Oh, and then there's the Chancellor who has like a robe. That's it. That's the only difference.
Oh my god.
Oh, but no,
Doesn't the
they're
Chancellor show up in Paper Mario too?
yeah, he's kind of like what would have been Toadsworth essentially, but they had the Chancellor instead. Where you see him like in the
Hmm.
very beginning, he greets you, like he has like a mustache, but there's not much more differentiation between. But
I'd like to think they're all in the same canon.
I think so too.
3 games in a row, Mario has to reclaim 7 stars. It's stars every time.
And then it was Hearts. They had the up.
Can we release that game on Switch, please? Just an HD upscale of Super Paper Mario would be enough.
That's what they'll
Don't
do.
remake it.
They'll remake Paper Mario, and then they'll do the Pikmin thing where they'll give you 1,000 Year Door and Super Paper Mario, not in any like updated. Well, I guess they'll updated they'll up-res the game, be its original like Pikmin.
What I think they should do is they should remake Paper Mario and then use all the assets they build for that to also remake Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, that's a hard one because Paper Mario has its own identity in its visual style. It looks different from 1,000 Year Door. From 1,000 Year Door onward, they kind of have that style nailed down, except for like the white outlines you see more recent titles. But the
Yeah.
original Paper Mario, like he looks different. He has a more of a stout, compact look, I guess. Um, Everything has its own style. But I don't know. I think those two games can coexist with a similar art style. But
Yeah.
it'd be weird to see them in the same art style. I guess it's just the thing for me. It'd be I would be so down for it. Like any Mario RPG, that's up my alley. Looking forward
I
to
mean,
this November.
it's crazy to think how many Mario RPGs have been remade at this point. Like, because Superstar Saga and Bowser's Inside Story both got remade as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Superstar Saga lost its personality when it got like those bigger, brighter, chunkier sprites. Like no other Mario and Luigi game looks like that game really. Like Partners in Time is close, I think, but they definitely started to lean more towards a different style with that game. Um,
I like the way Dream Team looks, but they did not need to drive it into the ground.
yeah, yeah, I'm fine with the art style. It's just the fact that Mario and Luigi had a specific look to Superstar Saga that kind of got lost with getting remade. And it didn't really need to get remade. I'm fine with the original as it is. I'll play that on NSO before I'll play it on my 3DS.
Yeah, I never went and played the Superstar Saga remake. I did play Bowser's Inside Stories remake though. That said, I do think I still prefer the original in that case because I just like the sprites in that game a lot. Um, especially Bowser. I love Bowser's design and Inside Story, and you lose that in the remake. But I
Uh,
mean, still, it's still a good game.
that's I made a poll. I don't know where it is right now. What box it's in? Because everything's. I made a Perler Bead sprite of that Bowser, the big boy. I like that sprite so much from
Is
specifically
he is
specifically
he
that game.
is he standing up straight, like when he puffs his chest out?
Oh, when he like
Brr.
puffs it out, he's like smiling all cocky and such. No, it's just
Yeah.
his standard standing sprite during battle. It's the one. But yeah, he has so much personality in that game.
The end boss is a very, very memorable moment for me, especially the theme. Uh, Damn good ending to a game. Uh, Mario RPGs are so good, and then there's a bunch of them that aren't.
A lot of the early ones I prefer more than the later ones, basically, for me. Uh
I I loved Dream Team. I have one like very big problem with it, and that's just the way tutorials are handled. Like if they remove the tutorials from Dream Team and shorten the game by like 5 hours, I think it'd be up there with Superstar Saga.
there's a lot of memorable moments too. I still remember like when you first go into one of the first times you go into Luigi's game, there's like that hallway where there's all these speech bubbles of Luigi talking, like his inner monologue, and he's like, "Wait for me, bro. I want to go too," and all these things. That just makes you feel kind of sad and emotional.
He's like this depressed, anxious little man who
I'm
has
just
not gone to therapy.
I'm just like, dang, that hits you in a way of just like, dude, and uh, yeah. I still love how Luigi centric it was because those battles are hilarious with the sheer mass of Luigis that you fight with in those dreams.
Oh yeah, I love all the special moves in that game a lot. Um, One thing I didn't love about Mario and Luigi after the first game is that the Bros attacks just kind of became kick the shell, shoot the
Items.
fireballs. Yeah, but it was like the same ones in every game. Um, and like they changed a little bit once you got to like the second half of them, but you always have kick the shell. Like I don't want to kick the shell anymore.
But in Partners in Time, you kick the shell with the babies, adding a spin, and then you press the button. Yeah, I
Partners in Time I can forgive because it was the first time they did it, even if that game isn't very good overall.
yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, Bros attacks they're a lot more quick and snappier. And then even when you learn the advanced moves, the ones you can extend over time, like they're very quick to do, and they don't feel like they last forever. Um, Having Bros points was a
Yeah.
lot better than just using items. It felt more natural to them because they're just using their skills and abilities like the hammers or the elemental attacks, and it just made more sense.
Yeah. Dream Team is especially bad with the moves taking a really long time to do, which
Hmm.
is sad because like the moves are actually really cool,
Yeah,
but yeah, they just take way too much time. I love the ones where especially like when an enemy attacks and they have you like running at the screen, just like really playing with that 3D. Those were really cool. Um Gosh, Dream Team could be so much better with just some small changes. It could be really good.
that's definitely one of my favorites of Bowser's in story. The original is always gonna be my favorite. Yeah, those ones.
Yeah.
Brandon Bovey is saying, bounced off of Partners in Time as a kid, got weirdly hard for me, or maybe I sucked. I had that same problem. There was some boss, I don't know what boss it was. It took like half an hour to beat, and I don't understand if I was doing something wrong. Because you have to do a setup, you have to break something so that the boss is vulnerable, and then you only have a little bit amount of time to attack them, and then it begins again and again. And I'm just like, am I doing this wrong? Because this is taking way too long. I had a
I
lot of
mean, to be
instances like that.
fair, even the original Superstar Saga had some really difficult fights. Um, as a kid, when I played it the first time, I was pretty underleveled, so I got to the that tree boss you fight before going into what Shroom Valley or whatever it's called. Um,
Oh, the one with the arms, the big old arms, and they throw it at you. Is that when you're in the desert and you're about to visit Mushroom Town?
yeah,
Yeah,
that that one took me a long time to beat as a kid. Um,
you can beat it in one turn.
yeah, I mean,
That's right.
we beat it in like 2 or 3 turns when we did it last time, didn't we?
Yeah, because it has a little berry on the very top of its head, and you can target that berry. But if you use Bros attacks, like use the hammer, if you hit it with the hammer, it's extremely weak to that, and it can die in like 2 or 3 turns.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a one way
Uh,
to cheese
Boletta or Bowletta at the end of the game as a kid took me like weeks to beat because I was so horribly underleveled.
Oh
Um,
no.
which gets even harder when you get to the second part of that fight with Cacletta's spirit, which is bonkers hard.
We had like so many problems just trying to survive to get to the end of the fight.
They make you survive the first turn with 1 HP each, and if one bro goes down, it's almost a guarantee the other one's gonna die. God,
Gosh.
what a hard fight! Like it makes you feel good when you beat it because of how difficult it is, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there's very rarely any bosses in a Mario and Luigi game where I can go back and say, yeah, that was actually legitimately hard for a kid's game. But that was brutal.
Um, my first time facing the final, I'm not going to spoil the final boss, but my first time facing the final boss of Thousand Year Door, I
Oh
actually
yeah.
found pretty difficult. Um,
150 HP. Like, dude,
what a spectacle, though. That is a memorable final boss.
very thankful to later learn that you're guaranteed to get 3 shine sprites on your first roll. So you just burn everything you have before that and then get it all back again.
Really, I didn't know that. Okay.
It's scripted so that you always get 3 shine sprites on your first roll of the final boss fight. Yeah. So
Well, I know what I'm doing the next time I play it.
you just like you burn like supernova and do all this other stuff with high FP counts, and yeah, I guarantee you that happens every time.
I love the whole story of Thousand Year Door. Like, I think one thing that Thousand Year Door does really well with its plot is giving you this big question mark from the very beginning of the game. There is a giant door underneath this town. It is huge. We don't know what's behind it. Supposedly there's a great treasure back there, but we
Yeah,
don't know. And I'm like, for the whole game, you're left wondering what's behind the Thousand Year Door.
it's back there.
And
Yeah.
it's super worth it. The payoff is amazing.
Oh, I love Thousand Year Door. I Man, I would just hang out in that area because the music was so like mystifying. Just hanging around there, like what's behind this mystical door that's been here for so long, and we're slowly earning our way to get into.
hmm Oh god. I want another Mario RPG to give me a big mystery like that, something to like want to I don't know. Like it gives you an end goal that is not only interesting in the context of the game, but it's like personal to you because
Hmm.
you're like, I want to know what's back there.
Yeah,
It's like Skyward Sword. I always felt had a very like personal driven plot because of when you lose Zelda at the beginning of the game, like it makes you mad. You're like, no, I'm gonna go save her right now.
yeah. Um,
I love when games manage to convey that emotion onto the player as well, because it's not easy to do. Like,
it's hard to pull off. Yeah. Now I want to play Thousand Year Door again.
I do too. Remake it, god damn it.
I'll take Mario RPG. But yeah, we've been going for like a little more than 2 hours now. Not gonna be playing anything. That's fine. Been a good amount of time just chatting about Direct. I don't even know if we'll do that discussion on the main channel at this point because we'll just have this here.
Yeah, I mean, you already know how I feel. I
Yeah,
love Mario, and I got two very exciting Mario games coming in the next few months.
we both do. Yeah, I'm just as
Hell yeah.
excited for this. Yeah, absolutely. I, I'm I lean more towards Mario RPG at the moment because that's just I'm the Mario RPG. I'm just a Mario RPG kind of person. But obviously, Mario Wonder is pun intended. It looks wonderful because of all the new things it's finally implementing with character mechanics, a weirdly fully voiced flower by the way.
I saw some Undertale jokes about that made me laugh.
Oh no, I already know exactly what it could be.
Um, I think I'm a slightly more excited for Wonder just because it's a brand new game.
Yeah,
Um, but that said, like I love Super Mario RPG, and getting a remake that looks as good as it does, like I couldn't have asked for anything better. So, oh, I'm hype.
so good. I am excited, and the moment that they announced that they're going to be multiplayer, we're both going to be over the moon because that's going to be many streams
Oh
this
heck yeah,
fall.
we're if we get online multiplayer, we'll do a Wonder playthrough on stream for sure.
Yeah.
God, why does it come out the same day as Spider-Man?
Mario, yeah. Mario Wonder comes out the same day as Spider-Man. Mario RPG comes out the same day as Persona 5 Tactica. How dare they do this to me from that day for me specifically?
That's rough, buddy.
Brandon's like, I'm gonna play Mario RPG. Yeah,
I'm probably gonna play Mario on both instances, but the nice thing about Wonder is, it's a 2D game. I can play a couple levels and be like, "Great, I got to play some Mario. Now I'm gonna go play Spider-Man."
yeah. I don't understand people that are like, oh no, you can only choose one or the other. No, you could play both. They're very different audiences, very different games.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
do the same thing.
it's nice that one of the games is less like overtly committal. You know,
Hmm.
if it was like I don't know, if it was like 3D Mario, if it was like Mario Odyssey 2 coming out the same day as Spider-Man, then it would probably be one or the other for me. But
Yeah.
it's nice because with a 2D level, you get a jumping off point. Like I can beat World 1 and be like, "Yeah, I beat World 1. Now I can go do something else."
Hmm. Yeah.
But like you need an off-ramp.
I'm just glad that these are shorter. The world are going to be generally shorter titles than what we've been playing lately, like uh, Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. Pretty soon, Final Fantasy 16. It's also going to take a long time. I just finished Miles Morales. That doesn't even take very long. Be
It's a short game, yeah. I
very.
Did you like it?
I did, yeah. I platinum the first one, ran and remastered. I might do that with this one. Who knows? I mean, actually, it requires you to do like a beat the game and new game, so maybe not. I don't have that kind of time right now, unless I just breeze
Yeah.
through it. But yeah, I'm just doing some of the post game stuff. I might just fiddle around with the game plus. But yeah, I like Miles Morales. I'm a big fan of Spider-Man. I got a giant Spider-Man blanket over here that I've had for like 20 years now. I've taken absurdly good care of it all this time. Still my favorite superhero. Um, and I'm super excited. I was really excited when they announced Yuri Lowenthal as Spider-Man. I was like, he's gonna kill it as
Yeah.
this man.
Yuri
Fantastic.
Lowenthal. Yuri Lowenthal has long been probably my favorite voice actor, just because he's played a lot of characters that mean a lot to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I mean, I'm a big Naruto fan, so him being Sasuke is like, ugh. He's Simone in Gurren Lagann,
Yeah.
Suzaku Kurudugi and Lelouch of the Rebellion. Like,
Yeah.
damn, he plays all the best characters.
I think the first time I really heard him that I realized it was him was playing yeah, it was the PS2 era for me. He was the main character for Persona 3, who's now passing the torch on to Alex Lee, who does
Hmm.
other characters as well. But the first one was probably Luke in Tales of the Abyss because he plays two different characters that are kind of parallel to each other. Main character and another character named Ash. Pretty funny to bring in. But I didn't realize that was him on both accounts because it was one is like his higher pitched voice and the other one is like the deeper, gruffer voice. And I didn't realize that was his range at the time. That's the sign of a great voice actor. You can't tell that they're the same person in the same game because they've got that vocal range. It's obvious to me now because I'm not as dumb kid anymore who doesn't understand the vocal ranges. But
There is like the patented Yuri Lowenthal scream. Like when Yuri is yelling as his character, like you can tell that it's Yuri Lowenthal because he's got the best yell in voice acting.
Got a great one. Yeah.
Um, Another character he played is Haseo in Dot Hack GU, which is literally white-haired Sasuke. Like it's the same design. It's just Sasuke with white hair, but it's great. Um, but yeah, I was so happy when Yuri got announced as Spider-Man because he's honestly a perfect Peter Parker.
He's great. Those
Yeah,
quips fall off so naturally, and just the fact that just hearing him again as Peter when you're doing just like the little side missions as Miles, just completely going off tangent, or that one scene where oh god, who was he fighting? When you finish all his missions and then you fight the first boss that he ever fought, or his first villain, the
hmm
Vulture. That's what it was, the Vulture. And he's like imitating his voice for the entire fight. He's just imitating the Vulture's voice in like in a real like condescending way. Just like this is
Oh,
hilarious.
that's awesome.
But yeah,
Yeah, Yuri Lowenthal, I think, was born to play Spider-Man, and it's also awesome knowing like that was a lifelong dream of his was to be Spider-Man. So seeing that he got to do that is great. Um,
that's amazing.
I didn't mean for this to become a Yuri Lowenthal Gus stream, but
It happens. We talked about Spider-Man, and it just happens, man. He's a lot of he's a lot of characters. He has a legacy in voice acting right
I
now.
always forget he's Marth.
Yeah, he's a bunch of characters in Fire Emblem at the like heroes, but yeah, he is the Marth. You hear
He
him
is
and
Marth Fire Emblem.
he
And
is
whenever you play like a AAA game, I say AAA, but like if you're playing like a Call of Duty or something like that, he is always like 5 background dying NPCs. You can pick him out. Like as soon as you hear it, you know that you just killed Yuri Lowenthal.
it's him, the boy.
uh, Yuri, do you do coaching? Coach me. Coach me, father.
I would love to have him over for Emblem but
Last of Us is what I was thinking of. Yeah, he's NPCs all over that game.
so funny. But yeah, with that in mind, I think we pretty much reached the end of this podcast. Oh, it just became a podcast apparently. So if you're listening on a VOD, hello, thank you for. And if you're here live, hello, thank you for tuning in and just listen to us chatter about games and voice acting for 2.5 hours.
Brandon and Daniel go on a tangent, the podcast.
Sure did. My goodness. Before we even left, Ubiquitous
Oh boy.
redeeming Daniel make a profile picture for you. I think we should have worded that differently because I can't draw. I can design a profile image based on something that is made already. But I can still make one. I can still design one. I did that for Ash for on his Discord with the Chad Volnut that we call now.
Oh, Uncle Silver's raiding with a party of 17 right at the end. We keep
Hello,
doing this.
hello, Uncle Silver. We keep meeting like this, in which we're chatting. We pretty much just chatted about the entire Nintendo Direct and some voice acting on the side. But we were coming to that moment of wrapping up, so we could chat a little bit, just a tiny bit longer, a little bit.
I can go on another 10 minutes or so, yeah.
Yeah. What were y'all doing? What were y'all chatting about, Raiders, Uncle Silver? How y'all doing? Thank you for stopping by the way. Brandon just had his lunch. I'm gonna go eat something right now. Once we're done and wrapped up here, well, maybe I'll stick around.
Oh yeah, I'll have to go grab my Switch. After we wrap up that, I'm probably gonna hop back into some Final Fantasy 16.
Gotta down. Oh, I don't have any room in my PS5, Brandon. What do I do?
I had to delete like 2 things to install it. I was afraid to delete the demo because I didn't know what would happen to my save data, so I kept the demo installed. Um,
Hmm.
but I can probably delete that now.
Yeah. Dang it. I have. Yeah. It's like 100 GB, isn't it?
It's 90, I think. 94, something like
Oh,
that.
okay. Well,
which is still
what a difference.
ridiculous. Yeah. Basically 100, yeah.
Pretty much. It's basically too much. Yeah. We get like a partnership with what was it? Someone that does storage internal CDs for PS5. Some of
Western
that.
Digital, SanDisk, somebody.
Western
Please.
Digital, where you at? Well,
Mellowfire is saying, oh, go ahead.
oh no, no, you go ahead. That was my thought.
Mellowfire is saying, Super Lucky's Tale is fine, but it seems to lack something. Are you playing Super Lucky's Tale or New Super Lucky's Tale? Because New Super Lucky's Tale is the one you want to play.
New.
You bought a 2 terabyte SSD for your PS5? What brand and for how much?
Yeah, I'm curious to know. See it. I see Wario 64 showing one on sale every now. For like, never been super. I didn't feel like it was a super need to quite yet, but it's getting there.
Western Digital, about $150. Yeah, I want to get one because I know at the very least once Monster Hunter comes out, that's going to be like 80 gigabytes that are just going to stay on my PlayStation, and that's going to just eat up space.
Yeah, certain games I just won't delete. I'll go back to them. Like I want to delete Final Fantasy 7 because it's like the PS4 disc, but on the PS5, and I'm just afraid of what's gonna I'll have to deal with when I decide to play that. I want to play that again before Rebirth happens.
Yeah, me too. I need a refresher on a lot of that game. Honestly, I need a refresher on Final Fantasy 7. I have like a horrible memory. Like sometimes I can beat a game that has like a really magnificent story, and then like a week later, I'm starting to really struggle to remember the finer details.
Like what happened,
Or like
man?
there's just a character's name I can't remember. I can't remember the main female character's name in Future Redeemed. And I played
Oh,
that a couple months ago.
you're not talking about A or Niall or Glimmer or
Niall. Good lord.
oh my.
Uh no,
Well,
not A. A would be hard to forget.
I was like, well, because Niall wasn't really a character in the story as far as a party member. I was wondering if you meant like
True.
just Matthew's sister. But yeah,
But even the finer details of that story's plot are starting to fade away from my brain. Yeah, I don't know. I've had memory problems since probably since college.
Brandon Bovey is saying Niall is a weird name to be fair. Well, all the cat girls' names, they're all cat noises. You say Nia, Mio, Niall. They're all like cat cat sounds that they make, that
Oh,
cats
I don't
make
think I
rather.
picked up on that.
If you meow all their noises, they sound like cat noises. That's
Yeah, meow, now.
Niall. Did you know that? Brandon Bovia, you didn't know that?
I didn't know it either.
Yeah, all three of them. They're all meant to sound like cat sounds if you meow them. It's kind of weird. I am glad to have given this revelation to you all today.
Two separate Brandons have both learned this fact this day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I need to like go to my doctor and be like, "How do I remember stuff? Please help me learn how to remember." I'm gonna be like 40 years old, and I'm not gonna be able to remember like my own name at this point.
Well, I hope you're getting enough sleep lately, because if you don't get enough sleep, see, getting like that deep sleep, it helps
REM sleep.
to, yeah, it helps to like flesh out these I don't even know what they're called anymore, but there's like matter that accumulates in your brain if you don't sleep enough. Having that deep sleep helps to flush that out. So if you don't sleep a lot, it starts to affect your short-term memory in the short term. Then that does eventually affect your long-term memory as well. So make sure you sleep and get those good flushes in your brain, everybody.
Well, sleep and I have never gotten along too much.
I know the feeling. My sleep schedule even right now is a disaster because I have the house to myself a lot of the time. So I'm not concerned about making too much noise or, messing around when it's late at night, but it's a problem.
I need to have I think I've mentioned this before, but I need to have like a sleep study done because my therapist is pretty sure I have sleep apnea. Michaela's pretty sure I have sleep apnea. um, I wonder like how much my memory would change if I just like had that addressed.
Yeah. Any tips that they can give you, I'm sure that can help as well cuz it's a weird thing.
I just hope that I don't end up having to have a CPAP machine
Oh man.
where you have that hose go up to your mouth and it's loud.
Oh god, no. No thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. She says I haven't been snoring as much since I've been losing weight,
Well, that's
which
good.
is cool.
That's
So
that's handy.
when I was pre-pandemic, I don't think I even snored at all.
Well, I've witnessed firsthand that the snoring does happen. I could not sleep during PAX. I'm not saying it's because of you, but you, Steve, and Ash, the concerto of snorers. I could not sleep, and I don't want that to happen again. I was this close to saying, "Hey, Xeon, you got an extra space in your room?" Because I can't sleep. Uh,
Well, like I said, snoring isn't as much of a problem for me now, and
that's good.
ideally, it should continue to be less of an issue.
Yeah, I'm glad you've been taking steps to improving your health in various ways. Yeah, I've yeah, I hope you continue to that trend continues because I mean, if you started this path and you're making advancements on it, making improvements, then get that
Yeah,
sleep, get that weight down, all the goals that you have. I hope.
my goal is like sub 200 pounds by the time my baby is born. I don't think I'm gonna quite make it, but I'll be close.
Oh, that's awesome though.
Yeah, I have not been that weight since like 2019.
Try to, man. I've definitely watched what I eat more now that I've exited previous relationship. It's kind of the same thing over a lot. Me as well, and then having like uh, stomach issues last few months as well, kind of helped me change my diet for the. Definitely, just keep drinking water, everybody. Don't stop drinking your water. Stay hydrated. It's more important than you think for your health and your weights.
Unless you're Sakurai and water makes you nauseous for some reason.
I can't imagine. Like, how does he survive?
The man lives on Diet Coke. I don't get it.
And he looks like he hasn't aged a day since he made Melee.
I know. It's weird. Actually, I need to catch up on the backlog of his videos. I'm a little behind.
Oh yeah, I'm at gosh, what was the last one? I'm about like 8 or so videos behind at this point, but I try to listen to them at nighttime, trying to chill out. But they're all good. They're all very informational, and I relate to some of them when he talks about design and UI and kind of graphics. And the most recent one is smoosh and stretch, which is very important in animation. I think people need to know that for sure. Uh,
There's a lot of squash and stretch noticeable in Super Mario Wonder if you do some frame by frames of the animations in that.
yeah, for sure. When Mario collects any power up, essentially, there's not only does he like do that smooshing and squishing and stretching, there's like a little pop animation behind him as well to extenuate the fact that he got this power up. I thought that was
Oh yeah, that's even like the elephant. Like there's a little elephant splash art behind him, and then the trunk kind of
mm-hmm.
waves.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, we'll just get into another tangent of Mario Wonder if we continue down that route.
All right, guys, we got to split.
Yeah, thank you all for joining. For Raiders that jumped in towards the end, Silver. Hope you all had a good stream. Where are we going, Brandon?
I am looking right now. The allies are chatting. You want to go hang out with Easy Allies?
Yeah,
Don't know what they're talking about, but
Q and
they're
A
talking
and
about something.
Q&A and hot mics call in show. Yeah, sure. Let's throw them that way.
All right, y'all, go hang out with them, and we will see you next week.
Before that, we had another 100 tickets at the very end from Homecoming Hero. Got the Pikmin ports and excited for 4. We'll say that these with these shadow drops, 2 theories. One, maybe this is how we finally get 1000 Year HD. Calling it now. When we get more info about Dark Moon remake, the shadow drop the. Boy, I want that 1000 Year Door remake. That the 1000 Year Door HD. Just put on Switch in any form of capacity at this point, because we already RPG. And Dark Moon, that's just a surprising choice. We'll have a 3DS game ported, not the 3DS game I was expecting to see, but it's on there.
Get more of them off of it, please.
Please do. The
Kid
certain
Icarus.
Kid Icarus game that that could greatly benefit from being off. And Stacy's asking, any stream on Saturday? I'm trying to figure out what I would play on Saturday. I have Saturday freed up. I don't know what I would do, but I do want to try and stream on Saturday again. I keep dropping the ball on that. I'm sorry. We were busy on Tuesday. I didn't even apologize for Tuesday because we were trying to prepare for things on for Nintendo Direct, getting those reactions ready. Yeah, I will do my best to be on Saturday, o'clock noon Pacific time. See what we play. Yeah.
Alrighty, gang. I'm gonna send you over to the Easy Allies.
All right, y'all. For joining us again. We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Till we meet again.
And away they go.
Goodbye, friends.